Welcome to Can Angels Fly, Tarot and More. My name is Nancy, and tonight I'm here to perform some tarot readings. And the theme for this tarot reading is the poop gunny? Is the poop about to go down? But before we begin, I like to submit my personal plugs. Again, I'm Nancy. I'm a tarot reader. If you're ever interested in ordering your own personal tarot reading, just contact me by email. My email is canangelsfly1@gmail.com. Actually, my email is below this video or live stream. At this time, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. Once subscribed to my channel, please locate the notification bell. Click on it so you'll be notified whenever I go live and or upload a video. I ask if you enjoy my content to like my content and to share my channel with others. Last but not least, if you'd like to offer me any financial support, you can do so by Cash Apping me at $CanAngelsFlyTarot. Hello, how you doing? Now, where is this George at? George, are you in the room? Hi, Miss Riz, how you doing? Are you what is it? Corona free? Corona free? George, you in the room? You say you thoroughly lit. I don't know if you in the room or not. I just saw that. I said, let me go live because I had started watching the movie. Hi, Yanni, how you doing tonight? Before we begin, I want to be a little more serious about the coronavirus, just in case, you know. Well, it's not just in case because I do know again that it exists. I shared that I believe that me and my family may have had the virus, and not only me, it was a whole lot of other people that I know had the virus at the close of last year and at the beginning of this year, and everybody said the same thing. It was something wrong with that virus because it wasn't, whatever we had wasn't stereotypical. I share, hi Galaxy Tarot. I shared that how me and my family, everybody I know went to the hospital due to whatever virus we had. We were never told, nobody that I know, nor myself, nor anybody in my family, were told what we had. We were told we had a virus and it had to run its course. I shared that what was interesting about the virus is what was the mucus and its reoccurrence. Like, you know how you hack something up and it builds back up. You know how mucus builds back up? It would build up so quickly. And not only that, the mucus was so thick, it was abnormally thick. I talked about that. And I talked about how we had to keep making sure we could get it out because if we didn't, it was sure enough would have led to pneumonia or something, you know, worse. And so I do want to talk about it and, you know, just share a little bit I know about what me, my family, and many other people that I know experienced at the close of last year around November. It ran from like November until January. And I told you it ran its course, and hot dang if it didn't start all over again immediately after the mucus cleared up, it went right back. And so, of course, take precautions, of course, practice all the safety measures, washing your hand, doing all that kind of stuff. Okay. It was something else I wanted to talk about. Let's see if I got it here. Nope. What else did I want to talk about? What I want to talk about a little bit before I read the tarot cards. First, I want to read the chat, and then I want to share some of my thoughts that I had today on the subject matter. And then we're going to go into the tarot readings with a theme of, is the poop about to go down? Why did I title this title this with the question, is the poop about to go down? Because it appears that a large percentage of the world is being quarantined. And so when we're quarantined, we are forced, I guess is the best word, to stay indoors within our homes. And so I'm going to go into detail because that can cause some psychological problems. So I want to talk about that a little bit before I read the tarot cards. And so the tarot cards will be surrounding, again, that theme of of the psychological problems a person may suffer while being closed in the house with their family and stuff like that, and not going to work and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so again, first and foremost, reading the chat. Hello, everybody. How good? How you doing? I'm hanging in here. Yeah, I'm a nurse, and I have 2 patients with it. Okay, all right. Thank you for the testimony. Yeah, that was a bad mother scrutcher, but again, we were able to nurse ourselves at home. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. One of the things I think helped me and my family get over whatever it was, because it was fairly severe, is it seemed like it started with my grandbaby, and right after, because she was sleeping with me, I ended up with it. And I'm happy I ended up with it because I understood then what she was dealing with. And it was the mucus that was the real problem, and the throat issue. I mean, the stuff was in my throat, in my lungs, and I didn't know that the lungs was made up of a lot of little popcorn compartments, but I could feel the little compartments filling up with this big mucus. So I understood what the baby was going through, so I knew what I had to do with her, and she just let me beat all over and Vicks Alba and rubber. But once I was able to remove the mucus, and the mucus would come back so quickly, I was like, this is incredible. And it got to be more extensive. You know, it would get bigger and bigger, and I could feel it. So what I end up doing, I said, okay, I have a nebulizer machine. And so what I would do is, after I would get the clots out, the mucus clots out of our lungs, we always backed it up with the albuterol machine and steroid inhalers. And so every time I noticed that, as long as I kept with that regimen, the mucus could not build up. It couldn't like take over the lung, because it was something already occupying the space. So it wouldn't advance as drastically as it was before I was using it. And I stayed consistent in that practice for everybody in my family. And that's how I think it actually subsided. So I did want to share that. I don't have any medical degrees. I'm just sharing what me and my family did when we dealt with whatever that was. And I share with other people that were going through it as well. And everybody I know went to the hospital. But of course, then we didn't know anything about any coronavirus. Okay, let's see. It's a pleasure to see you again. It's a pleasure that you here, George, because you lit. You still lit? Hey, sweetheart. Nurturing health. Staying high vibe. How are you? Good to see you. Same to you, Yanni. I feel pretty good. Are you asking questions? I'm not answering questions. I'm just going to read the tarot cards for each zodiac sign. And it'll be regulated by the theme that I've spoken of. George says, I heard the government is ordering mandatory vaccinations for everybody, and everybody is afraid of getting microchipped also. I agree. I don't want any vaccinations. And I dang on well don't want no microchip at all. Not at all. So when you said that, George, it reminded me of something. This was about 2 days ago. I was in the bathroom. And this thought came to my mind out of nowhere. I was like, I told y'all, I've been a lab rat, so I know what our system is capable of doing. And so all of a sudden, this thought came in my mind, and I wasn't thinking about, at least I don't believe I was thinking about the coronavirus. This thought just came to my mind. I was like, wow. I said, our system, the utility part of our system, just laid all of these new pipings and yellow cables and cylinders and everything in the ground. They dug everybody up across the city. I said, they probably try to pump something in the houses, to, poison people or whatever I was thinking. And it was just a fleeting thought. I was like, yeah, strange. So I might meet about 3 days ago. Tell me why. Yesterday, one of my daughters, one of my babies, the twins, 20 now, came to me and said, Mama, what if the government was to pump something in our house? No, they said, I think the government is pumping something in people's houses. Where did that come from? I was like, what? when she said it, because they not on what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? They don't even watch my videos. They in the world star and hip hop and Twitter and TikTok and whatever else out here. So when she said it, I was like, what? I said, where did you get that thought from? She said, I don't know. It just came to me. And that scared me. And so I wonder, I just shared that. Have anybody else had any thoughts like that? Like some type of contaminant is being pumped in our house. And I'm not trying to start a scare tactic. It's not a scare tactic. But I thought that was just weird that she had the same thought that I had. And so I'm just sharing. Not conspiracy theorying, if that's a word. Dr. Sabi told us about the mucus. Oh, he did. That mucus is a bad mother sucker. And have you seen the movie The Man Who Saw Tomorrow featuring Orson Welles talking about Notre Dame? No, it's called The Man Who Saw Tomorrow. Nope, but I'm going to watch it either today or tomorrow. I'm going to locate it. Thank you, George. Hi, ES. How are you? Haven't seen you in a while. LOL. Why do you have a toilet next to you? Oh, because the theme for the tarot readings tonight is the poop about to go down. Down what? In our lives. So, and let's see. Hi, Katrina, George. I have a question. Let's see. What's your question? Okay. Y'all having a conversation. I'll come back to that. You could take Benadryl also. Oh, yeah, we were taking Benadryl. We were also taking Benadryl. You can take Benadryl also. It also dries up the mucus in the nose and the lungs, almost an allergy. That was another thing. I'm happy you mentioned that, George. When me and my family were going through it had this part of it was like an allergy or something that was occurring. So we took Benadryl as well. I'm gonna have to sit down and think about everything we did. I remember a lot of hot times. I remember sitting up just drinking hot water. I drinking hot water with lemon. I'll boil it. I was drinking the teas, but the tea was hurting my stomach. And we took the Benadryl. I took ibuprofen. And again, the real thing was the banging and getting that mucus out, because that mucus, I want to tell y'all what I did because I was in disbelief, but I don't want to. I want y'all to think poorly of me. I just say it was abnormal. Do you think people will be required to get microchipped to be a part of society eventually? I do. I really do. Yes. Because, you think of the people that sit in the seats of power. They're only a few in comparison to the rest of the world's population. And so they have to be able to keep track of the people, especially if they're going to begin to implement and execute policies and things that the people won't agree with. It's not like we are, when I say we, I'm talking about the people that create the world's population. It's not like we're just completely ignorant anymore. We have more college educated people than ever before in the history of humanity, it seems. And so we're very aware of a lot of things that used to be presented to us as mystical, magical, those kind of things. So they can't completely pull the wool over our eyes anymore. And the powers that be are not going to stop advancing in technology and different things like that. They're going to always want to take it to the next level, like a mad scientist. And I understand it. It takes a lot of self-control to contain oneself from moving forward on something if it has the potential to be detrimental to people. The potential detriment to people is not enough to make those that have the knowledge stop, because they want to see the reality of it. They need to see the manifestation of it, because the only evidence that those people that have the skills and talents to advance us in different aspects of technology, the only true evidence is to make it happen, to see it materialize. And so they aren't going to stop. So they have to have a means in order to control the people. Number one, that's one reason for the chipping. The other reason that I do believe we will be eventually chipped is because as technology advances, there's going to be less and less job opportunities or work opportunities. And the whole world is dependent upon its government. We don't do farming anymore. It's a mass, business. So they have to be able to have a means to get us the resources that we need. And chipping would allow them to cryptocurrency us stifling every now and then to be able to go buy the goods that we need to sustain our lives until they want to do what? Get rid of us because there's too much demand and there's no need for the workforce anymore. Once technology gets to a certain level, it won't be a need for the masses. And I talked about that in the video I made a long time ago, maybe about 4 years ago, called Your Ass is Grass Due to the World's Greatest Pyramid Scheme. When I talked about, slavery and different things like that as a medium to excavate and harvest all the world's natural resources that are needed to do what? Sustain people and to advances in technology. They don't need that anymore. So, they don't need the workforce anymore. Hi, Alexandria. How are you? Let me see. I'll be running my mouth. Nancy, I'm happy. You happy baked? One day I'm going to get happy baked. Oh, I ain't going to say that. I'm focusing on my thoughts mainly on the spiritual opportunity. Yes, it is spiritual opportunity. We might go into that. Hopefully I don't forget. Let me write that down. I want to write that down. That's a good one. Spiritual. Maybe I won't forget. Okay. And it has consequence. Oh, you gotta avoid getting microchipped. The Bible says people will be required to do. Bible says people will be required to do but a part of society, and it has consequences eternally according to the Bible. And I don't want to end up on the wrong side of that. Katrina, I made a video. Oh man, what was the name of the video? The 144,000. I made a video. This was maybe last year, summer maybe. And I think it's entitled 144,000, where I talk about the mark of the beast and how I personally don't believe the mark of the beast is a microchip. And I give my reasons in that video. I shared that I believe that the mark of the beast is actually the work of man. Remember, it says that basically the world's population will be marked on their right hand or something with the number 666. Your hands represents the works that you do. You put your hands to it. And the reason why I say I don't believe that the mark of the beast that the Bible speaks about is an actual item like man has made is because when we start talking about judgment, when we start talking about maybe the fulfillment of biblical prophecy, if it is real, there's no room for error when you're dealing with divine. There's no room for error. So what I'm saying, like a microchip would offer room for error. We're dealing with spiritual stuff. The microchip is a physical thing, but the work of your hands is spiritual. We'll say, as a man thinketh, so is he. As a man, thinketh, it governs, determines his works. So there's no error. It can be no error when it comes to divine judgment. And so again, what am I saying? I don't think the mark of the beast is a microchip. I don't believe that. It is an apparatus that will be used on humanity in order to control us and to keep track of us. But I don't believe that is the actual, mark of the beast that shows that a person is unrighteous. And then also in the Bible, it talked about there is also going to be a group of people that are marked on their foreheads with the number 666. And that represents to me, you can go again to that video, 144,000, whatever it was. The mark of the beast on the foreheads represents our intellectual, our part of the world's population that are the high intellectual people that have the extensive capability of manipulating the masses and putting it under mass hypnosis and all kind of things like that. The people that are practically geniuses, and they're advancing in technology and not able to stop themselves and doing everything to devastate the earth and the people on the earth. Those are the people that's marked in their foreheads, because it's their mind that's leading them to do what? Be unrighteous. Like I was saying, there is no way that divine judgment can be flawed or corrupt. And we know everything that is physical is corrupt. It is incomplete. Divinity is not incomplete. So I don't believe any of the things that will transpire will have to do really with anything, any item like that. And you say, okay, they can't do anything with our ventilation, but they can mess with the water. Yeah, with the water. That ventilation up, shoot. I don't know about that, George. I don't know about that. Because these new lines that they laid, it was the gas company, local gas company. I don't know what happened with the rest of the country. But my local area, they dug up everybody's yards and laid all these big yellow cylinders down in everybody's ground. Far as anybody I know had it done, to say it was even not just Detroit, it was the surrounding cities. So I don't know how far out it went, but through that new system with the smart meters, they can do whatever, and it's all remote. I don't trust the dirty mother suckers actually, but it says keep in mind our thoughts create things like the move sphere with Samuel Jackson and Dustin Hoffman. Sphere? I didn't see that. I ain't ever heard of that one. Another thing I gotta look up, another movie. Katrina, in the Bible it said that people will get beheaded if they don't the microchip or the mark of the beast. Heck yeah. Imagine if you don't, I feel that, George, people will be beheaded or what do you call it? Ostracized in the world if they don't display the mark of the beast. And I say display because if my theory is close to being correct, it means there's certain behaviors and attributes that a person will possess and execute that shows the world that they are unrighteous. And if a person has a different disposition, which is righteousness, they would be isolated, alienated, and it's another word, might say beheaded, by the rest of the population, because like a goody two shoes in the midst of the wolves, who are you? You gotta go. You're going against the flow. But yeah. Yep. Out of there. Yeah, out of there. Let's see. But I'm taking mental notes, Nancy. I got Benadryl on the list to get my vitiligo is a autoimmune disease. So I really have to be careful. Yeah, you make sure. Get your list. That's right. And make sure you share it with us, George, so I ain't got to go through all the hard work. Because I have to live like something. I've already got some of these things because, like I was sharing the other day, we have the signs of it. And I was thinking, I thought of the word lupus. I think it's lupus leads to like vitiligo or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. It's so much out here. I just feel like we've been contaminated. If they do employ microchips, they are going to start putting them in black people. You know that. I figure I already got one. First, we are the canaries in the coal mine. They also have to test on us. You know it. That's why I was like people in the penitentiary and different places like that. I could only imagine. Shaking my head. That's messed up. He's that already the righteous are already mistreated. The righteous are already mistreated. But I think it's going to get a bit more scandalous. A bit more scandalous. Okay, y'all. Let me see what else I want to talk about before we start. It was something else I want to talk about. Forgive my head. I'm still trying to paint and refurbish furniture and do all that. And now I'm starting to move real slow, y'all. I'm starting to move real slow. I want to go over here. I don't know. What did I have over here? Okay, I know what I want to do. I don't know how this is going to go before I start reading the tarot cards. The first thing I want to talk about is... my picture too big, y'all. Quarantine. I'm going to learn how somehow to make the words bigger. I don't know how to do it right now. I wonder if I click on it. Nope. I don't know how to make it bigger. I don't know how to make it bigger. I'm going to leave it alone if I mess something up. Okay. Today I want to talk about being quarantined, because that again seems to be what is occurring across the world. People are behind Monica, being quarantined. And so, I went to one of my favorite places. It's www.wackpedia.com, and the term we're looking up is quarantine. You say, yeah, like honesty is a problem, but unexpected gifts from all this. There's going to be some unexpected gifts. You know it. It says, a quarantine is a restriction on the movement of people and goods, which is intended to prevent the spread of disease or pest. It is often used in connection to disease and illness, preventing the movement of those who have been exposed to a communicable disease. Let's see, communicable. Infection is the invasion of an organism's body tissue by disease-causing agents. There are multiplication and the reaction of host tissues to the infectious agents and the toxins they produce. Infectious disease, also known as transmissible disease or communicable disease. Okay, I was just reading a little bit, y'all. But do not have a confirmed medical diagnosis. That's interesting. It doesn't have a confirmed medical diagnosis. The term is often used simultaneously with medical isolation, in which those confirmed to be infected with a communicable disease is isolated from the healthy population. Let me see. It was something else that I wanted to read on this page. And I am reading the tarot cards today. But this is important because, we may be skeptical about if the coronavirus is real and if it is a real threat to us. But even though we may be having our, doubts about the extent of the coronavirus, we cannot deny quarantine or being restricted, our movement being restricted. We can't deny that when it happens. What I do know, I'm going to leave that alone right now. I wanted to go, oh my gosh, I should have put it somewhere else. Let me see. What is it I wanted to... ethical practices. Oh, okay. Let's read this. Psychological impact, because that's what we're dealing with. This is the energy that we're going to season the tarot readings I'm about to do with. It's the psychological impact of being quarantined. This is serious. Psychological impact of being quarantined. Quarantine can have negative psychological effects on those that are quarantined. These include post-traumatic stress. Boom. Oh, my picture in the way. Let's see. Post-traumatic stress disorder, or socially blackballed. Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, is a medical disorder that can develop after a person is exposed to a traumatic event such as sexual assault, warfare, traffic collisions, child abuse, or other threats on a person's life. The coronavirus is a threat to people's sense of physical security. So some people can begin to suffer PTSD, especially after being quarantined for so long, sitting and thinking on something, pondering it over and over again, the potential threat. Symptoms may include disturbing thoughts, feelings, and or dreams. Okay, we're talking about the psychological impact. Quarantine can have a negative psychological effect on those that are quarantined. These include post-traumatic stress, confusion, and anger. According to the rapid review published in the Lancet in response to the, check this out, in response to 2019 to 20 coronavirus outbreak. Now, I found that so interesting when I was reading this. I thought it was real interesting because I was like, this is Wikipedia. And in order for them to have this information here, that means that maybe they update their, I don't know, files daily, or, based on whatever is occurring. Because we're just currently going through the coronavirus. And even though this is fairly new, just in the last couple of months, I noticed there is a considerable amount of information on Wikipedia about the coronavirus outbreak of the end of 2019, the early 2020, which is interesting. I also find it interesting that as I am live, that the people that are in are leaving. And I know I got at least 3 or 4 followers here that are consistent with me, but my screen show a drop to no views. I see you, YouTube. Let me say that I'm using Wikipedia for teaching and learning purposes only. I do not own the rights to anything. Thank you, Wikipedia, as well as www.dictionary.com and any other source that I may use in order to research, and anything I may use to cite. Okay, so back to the psychological impact. It says, in response to the 2019 through 20 coronavirus outbreak, stressors include longer quarantine durations, affection fears, frustration, boredom, inadequate supplies, inadequate information, financial loss, and what's the stigma? Some researchers have suggested long-lasting effects as a direct result of quarantine due to the coronavirus outbreak of 2019 to 2020. Okay, let's go on. In situations where quarantine is deemed necessary, officials should quarantine individuals for no longer than required. Provide clear rationale for quarantine and information about protocols, and ensure significant supplies are provided. And to ensure significant supplies are provided, which I find interesting, because when I was online somewhere, I don't know if I was on MSN online or something, I saw a report that was saying that our government, a part of the government department, and which include Donald Trump, was considering I don't know what part of the United States population, or I don't know if they were talking about the world population, but the United States population, because about Donald Trump, of granting people a stifling of either $1,000. Some people in government said giving everybody $1,000, or I think Donald Trump suggested $4,500, which is interesting to me. I'm saying this is real interesting to me. Now, that's just what I read on. I don't know exactly. I think it was MSN.com, but I'm not sure where I saw that news article. Is it true? I don't know if it's true, but that's what I read. And I find that interesting. I wasn't even going to mention it, but I mention it now because Wikipedia, when talking about being quarantined, directly points to the coronavirus outbreak that we're currently dealing with. And when talking about the psychological impact, it says that some researchers have suggested long-lasting effects from being quarantined, and due to the fear, the frustration, the boredom, having inadequate supplies, and all these kind of things can leave long-term effects of what? Feeling physically threatened and insecure and unstable and unsafe in this world. We've been talking about it. And it says in situations in which quarantine is deemed necessary. You know, even though if it's necessary, it has a negative psychological impact. It said officials should quarantine individuals for no longer than required. Provide clear rationale for the quarantine and information about the protocols, what you're supposed to do while you in quarantine. And ensure significant supply, and ensure significant, I'm going to say it again, and ensure significant supplies are provided. Going back to that article I read online earlier. It says appeals to altruism. I think it's altruism. I think where you give yourself on behalf of somebody else, or sacrifice yourself for somebody else, or put yourself up, for somebody else. Appeals to altruism by reminding the public about the benefits of the quarantine to wider society, so wider society can be favorable. Okay. I also find that interesting because I gave, I wish I had my marker, but I wrote here, I said, I see, even though there's been no straight up official statement that, boom, we're quarantined, don't come out your house. Things are shutting down, so you have nowhere to go. Where I live, I know the casino is shut down. My doctor's office called me and canceled my doctor appointment and said it's only essential appointments that they would like, will be following through on. My daughter went to work today. She takes public transportation. When she got off work, the buses had stopped earlier with minimal notification. So she, as well as her other coworkers, had no way home. So they stopped public transportation. What else has happened? I ain't really been out. But a lot of things are shutting down, but they have still not told, like my daughter, not to come to work, which is interesting. So that's a whole nother thing. And so we're going to talk about some of the longer term or extended effects of this coronavirus outbreak, as well as being quarantined. How, again, my children, none of them yet have been told not to come to work, but yet their main means to get to work has been stopped. That's interesting to me. Okay. And let me see before I go on. You says, well, that sounds like a plan already in Wikipedia's. Right. It's how's it already in Wikipedia? And that's just one paragraph that I found that references this coronavirus outbreak. This one. Never that happened in the past history. You talk about, it's a 2019, 2020. And it was other places that it goes on into further detail about this coronavirus. I was like, that's a lot of information that they've already put out before the event has fully, ran its course. The happenings have happened. I'm like, okay. I said, I got to come back to Wikipedia when it's all said and done. Sorry for my communication type mistakes. And I get it. And if I don't get it, I ask you what it means. Okay, it was something else I wanted to read. Standard quarantine practices. Like a standard quarantine practices by country. United States, let's read it. Standard quarantine. In the United States, authority to quarantine people with infectious disease is split between the state and federal government. The state and the federal government. States and tribal governments recognized by the federal agency have primary authority to quarantine people within their boundaries. Federal jurisdiction only applies to people moving across state or national borders or people on federal property. Okay. Well, we can go on and on talking about quarantine. And yes, y'all, I am going to read the tarot cards in just a moment. Just a few things I want to cover. What else is it that I want to cover? Oh, I know. How did I get there? Trying to think. Because it's something else. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. Is that, and I forgot to get a report card for my area. Even though there has not been an official announcement and enforcement like martial law to be quarantined to our house or a place that we can reside in for undetermined amount of time, I noticed that the movement of people doesn't seem like it has changed. And that's for different reasons. One is that a lot of jobs haven't told people not to come to work. But then I'm looking at the young people, like even my children. I told them, I said, you know what? If there's a real outbreak, I said, if you come here hacking and coughing, you out. Because you're all over the place. You're still going and doing, and it's not necessary. It's not necessary to do so. Stay close to home. You know what I'm saying? Minimize your company because we have to use our common sense here. I do have my theories, but they are my theories. Again, I know this virus exists, and I know there's some type of flu virus or something going around, and I understand the extent of it. Has it gotten out of control? That I'm not quite sure if I can't say. Again, I've shared my theory about what I really think is going on with the coronavirus and the tissue and everything. Everything. As well as the quarantine, because we're going into the quarantine too, because it has a significance. As you know, further in my theory. But regardless of what I think and what I theorize, we have to use our common sense when it comes to such matters of a pandemic. And since it has been announced that it's a pandemic, it is a threat to people, populace, I'm saying that we should be a little more cautious. We should wash our hands. Make sure that we wash our hands. We may need to be able to, like I was just spitting, you know, while I'm talking. We may need to stand a little further distance. We may need to minimize our going out to unnecessary places. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of things. And so I said, I give my area an F. Because everybody been out here as far as grade. I give them an F minus. Can you even get an F minus in school? Because they still going and doing what they want to do. Because they want to do it. They want to do it. I went to the grocery store today and my face just started itching. And I was like, oh, Lord, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. Yeah, I'm in trouble. I asked the cashier, I said, can I see your hand sanitizer? And she was so generous. She gave me some. And so I think that we should, you know, of course, watch our surroundings, the people around us, our loved ones. And, you know, be smart. Just be smart. And then also keep your eyes open. Because I don't trust this system. I believe they'll spray us with something. They will go as far as they need to go in order to justify everything that's going on. Okay, so I did this and this. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna let y'all. Oh, I know what I wanted to do, and I don't know how I got there. I should have wrote it down. Let me see. I'm looking at the contents, y'all, real quick. Now, what I'm about to do is I'm going to go back to my theory. My theory is that all of this is happening because I believe that United States has forfeited their loan with another country. I believe it's China. I think that all of this shutdown is the transformation of whatever territory and the people by extension into China's what do you call it, authority, you know, into their ownership, into their ownership. That's what I think. I believe that the toilet tissue craze is symbolic of China's victory and becoming the world's power. That's what I believe. And you can watch the last 2 live streams I did. And I can't even remember what I did when I was here on this page, the movement of people. I can't remember what I did. And so I'm going to just, since I can't take you there like that, I'm going to go here. And I don't know what line of thought I was following. I should have took some notes on it. But I ended up at international law, which plays back into my theories I've been sharing over my last 2 live streams. And international law, also known as public international law or law of nations, is a set of rules, norms, and standards generally accepted in relations between nations. And one of the things that you know, after reading over it, scan reading or fast reading or whatever you call it, over some of this information, I found, is this the one? Is it not going to do it? Oh, it was talked about foreign judgments. And when I'm saying, like, on a mundane level, as an example, let's say, hypothetically, case scenario, you sign up for a credit card with any company your imagination can pull up. And so you use that credit card company or that bank's money to buy whatever you want to buy. You agree to their terms before they release you their money or a credit line. And that those terms can say, hey, you got to pay, I don't know, 9% interest on whatever you spend. You have to have it in by, I don't know, the 5th of every month. We, the company, offer you a grace period of 2 weeks. And if you go past that grace period, we charge another $25. If you don't pay us, maybe 2 payments, 3 payments, whatever, we go after our money. We give you a chance to make the payment to catch up. If you don't, then we move forward to the courts and we enter a complaint against you for not making your payments and breaching the contract you got with them. Eventually, if you can't justify, you know, what's going on, if you ain't made no good faith payments or whatever, you ain't got no reasonable whatever excuse for like some type of hardship that's justifiable and acceptable in the court of law, then a judge is going to go in favor of that credit card company or bank that gave you that money or that line of credit. You gonna pay. And I've been sharing that I believe that the United States breached their contract with China, and China repossessing the United States or parts of the United States, different territory of the United States. And so we're talking about something on a grander scale, on a global scale. We're not talking about our individual kind of simplistic lives where we go out and get credit cards. No, we're talking about global business. And so here is the international, on Wikipedia, here's the page that talks about international law that covers the scenario like I just gave for a stereotypical person. I don't know how I ended up getting here because I didn't even know the terminology. But I ended up here clicking on stuff when I was doing the quarantine stuff. So, okay, now I'm here. And it's talking about enforcing a foreign judgment, which suggests to me, based only on my theory, this is back to my theory, I don't know if it's real, I can't prove it, but this is my theory, is that there has been a judgment issued by the higher, we can say, dignitaries or courts that deal with international affairs. And here it says, in law, the enforcement of foreign judgments, meaning sometimes people don't want to pay up. Like if I was in the situation, in the scenario I just talked about, I wouldn't want to pay up. And sometimes they have to force people to pay up. Like force people to pay up, like child support. They come put the what's it called, estranged parent in jail for not paying child support, or garnishment if you don't pay a debt, enforcement. And so I think that the United States maybe have gone through enforcement. Maybe that's how we saw the threats coming from China at one time. And the United States probably just gave up and said, okay, let's just go on and settle this. It says, in law, the enforcement of foreign judgments is the recognition and enforcement in one jurisdiction of judgments rendering in another foreign jurisdiction. Foreign judgments may be recognized based on bilateral or multilateral treaties. See, when we go to the credit cards, we fill out contracts. A treaty is another type of contract or understanding, or what they say, what's that, unilaterally without I can't read that. I have to make that bigger. I can't see that. But you get it. It was something else. Okay. I just want to read this little bit more. And then we're going to go into these other notes I have. And then we're going to begin to read the tarot cards for each zodiac sign. It says, in the third paragraph, international law differs from state-based legal systems in that it is primarily, though not exclusively, applicable to countries rather than to individuals. That's what we're just talking about. Not our mundane life. This is global. And operations largely through consent. Since there is no universally acceptable authority to enforce it upon sovereign states, consequently, states may choose not to abide by international law and even to break a treaty, which leads to what? War. However, such violations, particularly of customary international law, and I don't know what this word is, pre-imperatory norms, is it just congens? You can't see it. Can be met with coercive action, arranging from military intervention to diplomatic and economic pressure. And so I brought that up because I just thought it was interesting how when I was just studying quarantine and whatever I was looking at and clicking on, I got to international law. And I thought that was so freaking interesting. And I think it was interesting because it all shows me that there is a lot of symbolism that exists, or like hidden messages that exist. It almost seems like, and I've said this before, like the powers that be are supposed to keep the people informed, and they are keeping us formed in a covert way. It is not their fault if the world's population has a limited intellect, and we know this is their line of thought, because when it comes to law, what is that? The statement, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Ignorance of the law is no excuse, So we know that they have that concept of, it's not their fault if you're not intellectually savvy enough to be able to identify the information that's being offered to you. They have offered you the coronavirus. They have offered you the symbolism of tissue. They have offered you what else is it? Quarantining. And if you can't see it and you're just taking it for face value, then they have what they call it, plausible deniability, that that they were trying to hide something from you or not tell you, you know. Okay, now let's have maybe have a little more fun. Where am I at? I'm here, right next to my poopsicle. Okay. Question is poop about to go down? Let's see. Since we're being moved to quarantine ourselves, be responsible citizens of the world in the United States, you know, primarily United States, since that's where I am, to quarantine ourselves in order to assist in, you know, ending this coronavirus pandemic. There are going to be certain effects that will occur just because people are being quarantined or shut in or isolated, and they can't move about as what business as usual. They can't move forward like business as usual. And so this quarantine that is taking place will ultimately lead to certain life experiences, unexpected life experiences that many people aren't prepared for. And that's what leads to the stress and the trauma, or the psychological, negative psychological impact. The first thing is that I have written here, which we already talked about when I was reading about quarantine. I didn't realize it was there, but we're going to go over it again. Is, hey, well, due to this quarantine, people won't be able to go to work. Won't be able to go to work. And so it could cause financial hardship for some folks. Now we know that it was what, last year? We bought last year in with the government shutdown. And I think the government shutdown was what, 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. I don't remember. But that caused a lot of financial hardship. And some people had to work through their whole year to get themselves back on track. Was that we bought last year and like that, right? What was it this year? It was last year. Last year. And so people had to work through the year to try to get back on track. And then here we are again, like a year later, if I'm not mistaken. And now it's a traumatic event, or something that keeps a person from going to work or earning money, getting out here, getting a hustle on in order to secure the funds that they need, in order to purchase the various resources that they need out of this world to be physically secure, stable, and grounded. Stress due to financial hardship. The next thing is food shortages. Not everybody has food on deck. Not everybody. Some people don't have food on deck, or a surplus of food, canned goods, dried beans, or whatever they're into consuming. Because one, some generations haven't been taught that. The younger generations may not be aware of that. Me, I was raised by old school Southern woman, so that was the norm for my generation. But not everybody has that. We've talked about that before on my channel. Another type of person that may not have a lot of food on deck are the fashionistas, the people that like to go shopping. They say we'll get some food later. They always watching their figure and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They got their red bottoms or whatever else they like to wear. So those people may not have food on deck. Then there are other people that are living at or below the poverty level that are not eligible for food assistance, nor can they access the food pantries, or the food pantries don't assist them with enough. And so being quarantined in your home for an extended amount of time can be very frustrating, and it can lead to PSTD, and being worried, because when you can get out and about, even if you don't have food in your house, you can go hustle. I have literally seen people go through the garbage cans and extract food, whether it's scraps people then threw out, something the person just didn't want. I done seen people go through the restaurant garbage cans, but they had to be out and about to do that. A person that is quarantined cannot do that. There are people that are homeless that don't have stoves and refrigerators and stuff. And you say, okay, you quarantine. Well, they quarantine to what, a tent or a tent city or over somebody's house, and they don't have food. Here is the stressor that begins to build. And so I asked at the onset of this tarot reading, is the poop about to go down? You know, poop about to go down. The next thing is, how about wearing out your welcome? Back to people that are homeless, that may not have a physical home or residence, and a family member takes them in. Now, we talked about it before, how, especially in America, we're some individualistic, egotistical, selfish, narcissistic mother suckers with a sense of entitlement. And we don't want to share our space. We do not. And so the question is the poop about to go down? But a person that is in this position opens their door to a family member or a friend or a neighbor that doesn't have some things, if we were to get really truly quarantined. And that is a stressor. And that can lead to PTSD, stress, and all kind, anger, and all kind of things, and resentment, those kind of things. Still talking about wearing your welcome out. Getting to this place where, I hope that if we did truly go into full effect quarantine, that it would not be a long time. But if, say, hypothetically, these are hypothetical case scenarios because it hasn't happened yet, but let's say it does. After a certain time of being home, you become stir crazy. So you might have family or friends next door that want to come sit and visit with you, but they don't want to go home. I think it's the old Italian proverb that says, after 3 days, fish stink after 3 days, or something like that. So, people constantly coming over your house can become irritating. You're already frustrated, stuck in a house, that kind of thing, those kind of things. So the question is the poop about to go down? All right, next thing. Not having anything to do or no purpose. What do I mean by that? There are certain people in this world that love to work. Their work is their reason for living. It's their purpose. It's people that have to stay busy. They need to get out. They need to go, and they need to do. And for those people, they gonna get an F during a quarantine. They gonna get an F because they don't want to sit still. They don't know how, and it's highly frustrating for them, and it can lead them to anger and aggression because they're ready to go. They want to move, those kind of things. Is the poop about to go down? And how about facing off with one or more family members? Now, what do I mean by that? I'm saying, hypothetically, case scenario, it's a couple. One spouse work in the morning, and by that time that spouse get home in the afternoon or evening, their spouse is going off to work the night shift. And so they only see each other in passing. Long as they have that kind of rhythmic hello relationship, they're good. They're in love, and they can really work together. But if a quarantine is put into effect, and both parties are at home for a long duration of time, how will they really relate? Because being quarantined, being locked in the same house for an extended amount of time, will give people, especially, talking about my example, referring to my example, people the time to really be able to get to know each other, to find out the things they don't like about the other and or love about the other. These are some of the things that can occur during a quarantine. So I posed the question before reading the tarot cards for each zodiac sign: is the poop about to go down? That was just an example. Let's see, the next thing is personal time. What was I thinking about personal time? Remember, a hypothetical case scenario, because it hasn't happened yet, but if a quarantine is put into effect and we have to, do our part, our mature part to eliminate this pandemic, to stop this pandemic in its tracks, it's the personal time. What about having that private time? If a quarantine takes place and you have a family and everybody's in the house under the roof for an extended amount of time, what do you do when you don't have that private time or the private space or the time in the bathroom that you're used to? You know, that can be very annoying, that time to think or whatever the case may be. That can be a very, very annoying and frustrating. Or space, having just space, elbow room. How about this? Bills and accounts due. Hypothetically, case scenario, a quarantine is enforced, you know, put in place and enforced. You're locked in the house. You can't go to work, so you can't earn. But yet you have a bill on the table with a red sticker that says pay me now, or whatever company, will remotely cut your services off. There's no negotiation. We need your money. You've already negotiated last week or the week before or the month before. Your grace period is up. And so that is a potential experience some people can have if there is a quarantine. And that threat of something being delinquent or foreseeing that later on is going to be a judgment, it's going to be issues, it's going to be a deposit that's required, can be highly frustrating for some people or people that face such a scenario. How about just being inactive or bored? That is really, it goes back into the person that is, they just built to go, to do, to interact, to move. A quarantine will be highly stressful for a person that likes to go, to do, to move, to visit, to work, and it can be boring. Do you know how to entertain yourself if, hypothetically, a quarantine was put in place and enforced? Do you know how to entertain yourself? If you don't, it is possible that the poop is about to go down. You can become frustrated, depressed, all kind of things, irritated. But if you know yourself, and if you know how to spend time with yourself, this can be a good spiritual time, Yanni. I think you said a good time, a spiritual time, to really commune with spirit, to get to know yourself, to resolve some issues. You got to be able to be quiet with yourself. It is a good time to connect with those people that are close to you, not to argue, not to fuss, not to cuss, but to catch up. To talk, to discuss, to act silly, to play board games, to play some cards, some Uno, some Monopoly, some, let's say, spades or something like that. It's an excellent time. It's an excellent time just to be quiet. Sometimes just being quiet. Or you can do like my family's doing. It's time to spring clean, in order to help keep yourself busy. So those are just some of the things. Another thing that could be very stressful for people if a quarantine is implemented and upheld is having pending work. These are like people that go to work and they always got the stack of stuff to do, or a person that owns their own business, they're an independent agent or something like that, and they got stacks and stacks of work to do. There's so much work that some people can do at home. And they can take this time to do that, to catch up, to get ahead. But most times what I've noticed is that, eventually you got to go out the house. Whether you got to go out the house to the post office to buy stamps, to put something in the mail, to send something off, to go to a storage bin, and so not being able to meet the demands of work or duties can be highly stressful and frustrating to some people or a person that has that particular scenario in their life. Last but not least, the example that I have is like people that have ongoing medical problems and things like that. Cancer, what they call chemotherapy treatments and different things like that. And for it to be this threat of the coronavirus out and about, it's like that's an essential or necessary treatment. And so even if there's a quarantine, such persons would most likely get a clearance to be able to move to go get their treatment. But for that person, that would be highly stressful because they may very well feel like they are increasing their chances of, getting the virus and having to suffer the effects of it just because they're out and about. And so what am I saying? I'm saying that a period of quarantine, whether you're locked in your home, isolated in your home, or you have a a good reason or good cause to move outside of the house can be very, very frustrating and lead to anger, frustration, and depression and all kind of things. So understand that if a quarantine is enacted, that it can have psychological effects. You must be prepared. Now I'm going to read the tarot cards again for each zodiac sign. At least that's my plan. And I'm reading from the position aspect of asking, is the poop about to go down? Is it going to be arguments in your home with your home and family if you locked in the house together? You know what I'm saying? Is your significant other going to try to sneak out to go see somebody they cheating with during a quarantine? You know, those kind of things. Is the poop about to go down? Is utility company going to cut your utilities off because you ain't made your payment in a timely manner and now you quarantine and you can't go out and you can't get the money? These are the kind of answers we're looking for in the course of this live stream. But before we go forward, there's a little something else I want to talk about. One last thing I want to talk about is there will be extended economic effects on the population. What do I mean? I'm saying, hypothetically, case scenario, if a quarantine is begun and sustained for a while, people are losing work and therefore they're losing money. Therefore, they can't buy the resources that they need. Okay? It's going to have long-term effects, but that's not that great. What I want to go. What I want to talk about is the rush. The rush to go out and to get the supplies that one feels like they need to carry them through in case there is a quarantine. The biggest rush has been on tissue, water, canned goods, and whatever else people have rushed to get. The markets, the shelves, the warehouses across the nation, shelves have been stripped clean, wiped clean. And so, let's say the proprietors, I think, of these different stores, warehouses, have made their quota not just for like the month of March. They've also met their quota for the month of April and maybe even beyond that. It depends on, the establishment, the store, and their supplies. And so I'm talking about the extended economic effect it's going to have on the general populace. What happens? Because we rushed in and we bought everything we could possibly get our hands on. It is possible that in the month of April, that some people will not be called back to work, whether there is a all-out quarantine or not. Even if we get the coronavirus under control, the spread of it, a lot of people will not be called back to work in April. Why? Because it won't be as much clientele for many of these stores in April for multiple reasons. One reason is maybe the store doesn't have the supply. It's not time for their shipment to come in. It's premature. It's early. They have to wait. Another reason is because the consumer has already bought what they need for an extended amount of time. So people that went to Costco's as an example and bought them 30 rolls for $17 and bought 4 or 5 packs, they got tissue for 4 or 5 months. So there's a chance that they won't be returning to Costco's to at least buy tissue for 4 or 5 months. And because so many people perform this act of hoarding supplies and food, they probably don't need the house supplies or food for an extended amount of time, so they won't be returning to stores, warehouses, and different things like that. And since there won't be this big normal rush that these various stores are used to, or any given store is used to, that suggests then that some of their employees, some of their cashiers, some of their stockers will have additional time off of work on top of the quarantine, if there's a quarantine. Let me say that again, because I said it out of order. Hypothetically, case scenario, if a quarantine is, begun, the people at the stores won't be going to work because we all quarantined in. Then, when the quarantine ends, they won't be going back to work. Why? There's no work for them to do. So they have an extended amount of time off of work. All the time that a cashier or a stock person or whatever, janitor, whatever the case may be, is off work, is the less money that they have to see to their own physical, worldly needs, wants, and desires. We talked about that, though. The secret message back last year told us that this is going to occur. Let's see. Now, and so we can anticipate if this continues, there will be an increase in layoffs. And so I guess that's why that message that I saw, that report I saw, really, really makes sense to give people a check to help them cover, some of the needs they have. But that's a whole nother thing. If they give us a check, does that increase our debt? Which I doubt, because money is one thing. Commodities are another. So I really don't think so. They might try to sell it to us that way, but I don't think so. Okay. The last thing I guess I want to talk about is, and I'm going to read the tarot cards, is what is I do believe is going to happen, and is already happening, and I can tell, is that online purchases are going to go through the roof if we're quarantined. If a person, hypothetically, case scenario, if folk can't go out the door, they sitting at home, they ain't got nothing to do, they're bored, they will go online and they will shop from online if they possibly can. They will play games, these various games and apps that want you to buy coins and gems and all that kind of stuff will go up through the roof. Another thing that's going to happen is that, what do you call them? Stocks. Some stocks, it depends, will be falling. The price per, what do you call it? Stocks. I forgot what they call. The price of stocks will go down for certain entities because of a quarantine. An example is, let's see, like if the country, if the world, well, focus on the United States, if like Disney World, if we're quarantined and people can't go to Disney World, the Disney World's not making money. Stocks fall. People with money online at home buy those stocks while they're low. When the quarantine is lifted, summer come back, everybody back at the amusement park, price of stocks shoot up. These are the kind of things that are going to be occurring if, now this is directly dependent on if a full-fledged quarantine goes into effect. And it also depends on how long the quarantine lasts. But Wikipedia has shared with us that it is required that a quarantine does not last longer than necessary for multiple reasons. Number one, it forces a lot of financial loss on everybody's, well, not everybody's, but most people's, the common people's level. Because people that have money to lose or to burn, their experience is quite different from ours. Quite different. Number one, they don't rub elbows with people the way that the stereotypical everyday person does. People that truly have money, they kind of already live an isolated life in which they have particular circles that they hang with, and it's very I don't know, kind of like small, I'll say smaller circles. And so, but you know, when you're just an everyday stereotypical person, you go to work with all these people, you go to church with all these people, you got your families, like, and you don't catch a break unless you go to work or the church or something like that, you know. So they don't have a lot of exposure, so their whole experience is different. Plus, they have money to burn. You know what I'm saying? They have surplus of supplies. Because they also have employees, you know, and so they have a surplus of supply. So their experience is always different than our own. And so, and then because they have, their top earners will say that when certain stocks go down, they're able to like just swoop them up at a low rate, by you know real estate, low rate. You know what I'm saying? But again, that secret message last year told us that it was going to be a period, a real lucrative time to invest in real estate and other stuff like that. And we covered that. Um, Now I see it makes sense. It makes sense. And it really has all that I experienced. You know, this experience here lets me know that I do need to do more astrological research because I had fell off of it. I've fallen off of it. It suggests that I need to do a little more research because I got that. I'm pretty good at that. I'm like, okay. Pretty good at that. All right, now let's do these tarot readings. Let's see, where am I at? Okay. Time for my personal plugs. Again, my name is Nancy. If you're just entering the room or your first time here, this channel is Can Angels Fly Tarot and more. If you're ever interested in ordering your own personal tarot reading, you can do so by contacting me by email. My email is canangelsfly1@gmail.com. My email is actually below this live stream or video. Please like, share, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, once subscribed to my channel, remember to click the notification bell. Locate and click the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I go live and or upload a video. If you're ever interested in offering me any financial support, you can do so by Cash Apping me. My Cash App, a name or link or whatever it is $ Can Angels Fly Tarot. And that's also below this live stream. Okay. The first sign I'm gonna read for is Pisces. Keeping in mind everything I've talked about, it took me an hour and 22 minutes to do that. Keeping everything in mind I talked about for an hour and 22 minutes. This reading is for Pisces. Pisces, your motto is I believe. Let's see what the tarot cards have to share. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3. You have the 5 of Cups. Why are you moping and sad and upset? The 5 represents an odd number, therefore it's potential for instability in one's emotions based on, it's just feeling effed up. You're just feeling effed up about what, being quarantined, feeling effed up, or the potential, the Crayola, the with coronavirus, just feeling not feeling well or emotionally secure or stable. Another thing is you don't feel, oh God, please don't let you get locked up, Pisces. I think that you will not be okay because you don't want to be locked up in a particular place. Like you don't want to be locked up at home with them people. Like I can't be here with my wife. I can't be here with them kids. Not with this 5 of Cups. You will be trying to really cope with something, I see. The next card is the Knight of Cups. He's in reverse, and he's looking at this sorrow, this sadness. This is something that you really don't want to be a part of. The question is the poop going down? Is about to go down. And for you, Pisces, it suggests if you are quarantined and you have to stay isolated for an extended amount of time in a particular area or home around certain people, you gonna really be going through it. And yes, the poop is about to go down for you. And it's something that you really can't volunteer to do. You can't volunteer to do. You can't even phantom it. And so that's interesting to me, that quarantine is possible, possibility, because that suggests if you are put into that type of scenario, then there is some spiritual, what are going to call it, spiritual evolution or a spiritual journey or life lesson that you are going through. You have to go through. Your next card is the Page of Pentacles in reverse, and it's like you can't fathom it. You can't fathom it. You don't want to hear about it. You ain't trying to manifest that in your life. It's just like you are just totally rejecting the whole idea or the notion of being contained or isolated somewhere in particular. If you are like a single Pisces, you can't fathom being locked in your house or your immediate environment for an extended amount of time by yourself. Like, I can't get out and about and get out. I'm gonna be stuck in the house by myself. Like, Another Pisces, if you married, be like, I can't be here with him or her all that time. You know what I'm saying? But again, if you Pisces, you find yourself in this scenario, then there is a spiritual life lesson that you are scheduled to go through at this time. Okay. Hopefully that made sense. All right, Aquarius. Let's see. Can y'all hear me? All right, Aquarius, is the poop about to go down? Let's see. Your motto, Aquarius, is I know. You believe I ain't say your play your motto into your reading, Pisces. So I'm gonna back up. Your motto, remember, is I believe. You believe you gonna go crazy if a quarantine happens. That's what you believe, and you know that the poop is about to go down. All right, Aquarius. Again, your motto is I know. Let's see what the tarot cards have to share with us today. 1, 2, and 3. Let's see what's going on, Aquarius. We have the Fool card in reverse. It's like you haven't been in this position before. Whoo, that blows me back. Whoo. Okay, thank you, Yanni. That blows me back. Aquarius, Aquarius, you are a unique individual. However, you are a representative or a poster person for each person that creates the overall world's population. You won in 7.5 billion people. And this Fool in reverse saying, I haven't been in this place before. I haven't faced a pandemic before. I haven't faced being quarantined before. I don't know nothing about it. Because I don't know about it, because I ain't personally ever experienced it, I can get tripped up here. I can make some mistakes. And so the question is the poop about to go down in your life? Let's see. That was deep. The next card is the 6 of Wands. And I think you got it. I think you got it, Aquarius. Yep. Your last card is the Emperor. And the Emperor represents somebody who can adhere to the rules, the regulations, can make the rules and regulations, can be a leader. The 6 of Wands represents celebration and celebrating one for their works and their capabilities and their contributions. And so for you, Aquarius, the poop is not about to go down. You're going to rise to the occasion of whatever happens, whether it's the coronavirus and you contributing to the annihilation of it, or the slowing down of it, or being able to be quarantined successfully and motivating others to be quarantined within your own house. You are the one that will have the board games and the know-how and the way to entertain. You are the one that will be able to what do you call it, be therapy to family members and things like that. And so you're going to be very successful at doing it. And remember, Aquarius, you are a role model or a symbol of each of us. That is to say that I was going to give everybody an F. I was giving everybody an F in my area for their, current responses to there's potentially a pandemic around. But with this card, I can't. It's if this Crayola, coronavirus is truly real and it's truly spreading and it's getting out of hand. I'm happy, Aquarius, and remember, Aquarius represents each one of us, so no matter what sign. I'm happy that we all gonna rise to the occasion. Everybody in the world, including us here in the United States, with our free self, we're gonna rise to the occasion. We're gonna do what is required and necessary in order to get through the circumstance and or situations that we find ourselves confronted with. Whether it's a bill with a red tag or whatever the case is, if our significant other walking around cussing and fucking, I must forgot to talk about that. This is the second time I almost made that mistake and said that word, y'all. I ain't gonna say the F word, the N word, the F word, the A word, the B word, the C word. I ain't gonna say it. Okay. But we gonna make it through. So that's a beautiful thing. Go put forth our best efforts. I love that. And you know that. And that's what you know, Aquarius. You will come to know, keeping with your motto, you will come to know that you are highly capable of meeting any challenge. I like that. That's great. Okay. Okay, the next sign is Capricorn. All right, Capricorn, your motto is I use. Let's see what the tarot cards have to share. The question is the poop about to go down? 1, 2, 3. Your first card is the Five of Wands. All right, Capricorn. Don't get upset. Don't be arguing and fighting with folks. I feel like this Five of Wands suggests you get nervous and jittery. Now, I guess we each do the best that we can, is what I'll say. Because Aquarius say we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We might go about it different ways. It might be more difficult for each of us, depending on who we are. Like Pisces, you gonna do it. You gonna go through it. You gonna do the right thing if this thing continues to move forward, and you gonna go through your scheduled spiritual life experience, fussing and cussing. No, Capricorn gonna be fussing and cussing. Capricorn's gonna be crying. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go through this and whining. But we're gonna do it. And so here you are, Capricorn. You're going to do it because Aquarius energy says we're all going to do it. But you're going to do it fussing and fighting and being at odds with others. You're going to be really upset because of the Five of Wands, which is the financial hardship or difficulty or instability to your physical world. Because you can't get that bottle of wine, because you can't You can't eat the food that you want. You had plans to work a few extra hours so you could buy you some lobster, some crab to make you a crab boil, some fish, some I don't know, some white bass, some red snapper, some oysters. I don't know, you wanted something. Or you had planned to buy you a car, and all of this stuff is just throwing you off. And so it's making you really, really upset because you can't do what Ace of Wands move forward with your plan. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be cussing and fussing, Capricorn. Everybody move out Capricorn way. If you got a Capricorn in your home, and we are quarantined, we're all gonna do it. We're gonna do it successfully. But them Capricorns gonna be on a rampage. They're gonna be on a rampage because they're ready to use what they have acquired in the course of their life or in the course of the last 2-week pay period or month or over the year, because it's tax season, to acquire something that they had their heart set on but cannot move forward on it. So you can't use what you got to get what you want at the time period you want to do so, Capricorn. I can understand it. All right, next sign is Sagittarius. Sagittarius, your motto is I seek. Let's see what the tarot cards have to say. Woo! Aquarius. Yeah, Aquarius is, I like that. I wasn't expecting that. That was really, really nice. All right, Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the poo about to go down. Also, yeah, for Capricorn, yeah, the poo about to go down. All right. We have Sagittarius, I seek. Two of Wands, you can't wait to move forward. You want to make a choice about how you spend your time, your energy, your effort. I can understand that. You don't want somebody else to seem like to call the shots on you. We talked about this kind of energy yesterday. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're in light of a quarantine, if it was to move forward, you are told what to do. You don't get to choose what to do. And that might be something that you really ponder on. You know what I'm saying? Some Sagittarius, I think, remember your motto is I seek. And you may seek to, how can I say, seek to experience, what's that quote? Being in love for love's sake. So it's like having an experience for the experience sake. To be able to say, you have, Sagittarius have never, or you most likely have never experienced a pandemic, and we talked about this yesterday, a pandemic and being quarantined. And so you have no point of reference when it comes to that, truly. You have no real knowing. And so what you may very well do is seek to have the experience in order to be able to understand it, to be able to speak about it and know what you're speaking about. You know what I'm saying? And so it seems like quite the experience. The next card is the Knight of Swords in reverse, and also the Knight of Wands in reverse, because you don't know how to speak about it. You never had it happen. You've never moved through it. You've never spoke about it. You never experienced it. You never was in a social circle. So you don't even understand what a pandemic is. You got an idea because all the information that's out here, but you've never experienced it. We talked about yesterday about the Black Plague and the yellow fevers and different things like that. Historically, we've heard, but we've never experienced it. And so it's like, okay, when this time is here now, a time or an opportunity for a new experience. And so what I believe is, Sagittarius, you're going to move into the experiences that will be unfolding, that are unfolding, and you'll be doing so enthusiastically. That goes with you very enthusiastically about, and it's again, having the experience for the experience sake. To be able to say, you are a part of history and a part of the experience, and you understand what it is. We talk about the psychological impact of, being quarantined. So you'll be able to speak in detail on that. And whatever your unique experiences end up being, you'll be able to speak on it. And that is to say, like, if you're locked in a house with a person that's abusive for a certain amount of time, or if you're locked in a house with somebody that's highly creative, or if you're locked in a house with somebody that's, that has that nervous, jittery energy, you will be able to speak on it in detail. You know what I'm saying? You'll be an expert at it. I'll say, okay, so what you're seeking is understanding the experience for what it really is. So that's cool. Okay, that's good. I like that, Sagittarius. And so I don't see it really being the poop going down for you. I see it as, a really exciting period for you. Exciting. Maybe like a prairie dog. Like, you know how you're excited when you're prairie dog? I gotta get to it. Gotta get through it. You say, hi, Rise of Vibrations. How are you? Welcome here. I ain't seen you in a hot minute. Many things are being on hold. Yeah, are being put on hold. I was supposed to move to a new job. Now all on hold. Everything is on hold. And we were talking about how some of those things are stressors. When you got things on the horizon, it's time. You think it's time to move and go, and all of a sudden it's like everything stop. Like, like what is going to be the effects when it's time to go? Am I going to be capable of going when it's time to go? Scorpio, your model is I desire. Let's see what the tarot cards have to say. Your first card on Scorpio is the Moon. Then it's the Queen of Cups looking at the Moon. And then it's the Eight of Pentacles. Is the poop about to go down for Scorpio? And it's the dream job. Oh my. My. The answer for many Scorpios, I think, is yes. The poop is about to go down for you. And the reason I say that, because your first card is the moon card. And so the moon card signifies your inner emotional state, your psyche, your soul, the state of your soul, and being aware of clearly what exists in the psyche or the state of your soul. You know what I'm saying? Or your emotional state. You know, it's being able to see clearly, as clear as possible. And how do you get to that place? You know, you get to the place through the Queen of Cups, being highly receptive to everything about yourself. Imagine being quarantined in the house with your family, and you finally get to see yourself because you are forced to sit still after you have an engagement with like your kids or your spouse. And you get to think on it like, they just asked me like, could they get a sheet of paper? And I was like, hell to the no, you can't have a sheet of paper. Normally you would be able to walk away and go somewhere, get in the car, go for a walk, a jog, whatever, and never think about it again. But during a quarantine, you won't be able to do that. Once, just keeping my example, a family member walks up and say, hey, Scorpio, can I have a sheet of paper? When you say, hell no, you can't have my sheet of paper, and they lower their head and walk away. You get to sit there and you get to see yourself. You get to replay that moment over and over again until you see what's taking place inside your psyche or your soul. You know what I'm saying? Or your deepest emotional state. You know what I'm saying? And the paper was just an example. That's what the Queen of Cups represents. You get to see you. You finally get to see you. And so I say yes, the poop is about to go down for you because you're going to have this intimate piercing into yourself during this time period. But it's also good. The poop is going down for you, but it's a good thing. It's also going away from you because the Eight of Pentacles talks about how this makes you a much better person. A much better person. You're able to be more effective, more efficient, more righteous is the best word. You get to be more righteous. You clearly see yourself for what you are, and you get to correct yourself. And so your motto is I desire. And it seems like you've desired to ignore who you really are, or how you've interacted with others, or how you behave, in relationship to others. You desire to ignore that. But these experiences that are unfolding, offer you the spiritual life lessons that you need to evolve. Hopefully that makes sense. And that goes back into, what is that? Pisces. So yours, Pisces is the before, and Scorpio, yours is the after. Makes sense. Both water signs. And feminine. Y'all really feeling something. I see. Okay. The next sign is my phone ringing. I hear a phone. I don't know. I heard something. Scorpio. It's Libra. Libra, your motto is I balance. Let me shuffle the cards. I heard something. Is my volume on my phone? I keep hearing something. That's all the way up, so that can't be it. What am I hearing? I don't know what I'm hearing. I'm hearing something. Sorry, I was hearing something. Okay, Libra, again, your motto is I balance. I flipped some cards upside down. I think I felt it, but I don't know where. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, Libra. See what the cards have to say. It's the Four of Cups in reverse, pointing back to the Three of Cups. Just you know, with the situations or the happenings that's unfolding for us, um, or for it, with a primary focus on Libra, uh, you may, how can I say, like being around the house, you know, you may have come from a family which you have like siblings or a close connection with people in your community or your neighbors or, you know, or cousins and things like that, you know, keeping company. And it might get to this place where you don't want to keep company with them. We talked about that in opening. You may not want to keep company. It was like maybe somebody wearing out they welcome with this 4 of Cups, you know, because you're just quite not emotionally okay with their consistent company or reoccurring company is what I feel. Knight of Cups. Like, I'm not coming to your house. Don't come to mine. I don't want to attach to you. I don't want you at my house. And I don't feel like you being cruel. Okay, the next card is the Nine of Cups in reverse, pointing back to the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups talks about reoccurring, repetitive, obsessive, needing to connect and to attach. Either it's you, Libra, or someone significant in your life, like a sibling, aunt, uncle, cousin, person from your neighborhood and or community, that's constantly coming over your house, or you going over theirs during this time period, whatever ends up transpiring. And it's this redundancy. It's this wearing out your welcome. Somebody is them stinking fish that the Italian Proverbs talks about. When you stay more than 3 days, you stink. You know what I'm saying? You become rotten. You wear out your welcome. And it's that kind of thing. And so, remember, this is the Nine of Cups in reverse, pointing back to the Eight of Cups. It is not like you don't like this person or these people or they you. It's just not the time period. You know, when, oh, that's deep. That's deep. With this threat, you know, it's already a stressful situation for most people. It's already annoying if one is quarantined to their home. And here you come over and over again. For some people that work every single day, they may welcome a quarantine and not having to go to work. And they want to sit around in their boxers or they draw panties and draws and drink a beer and eat some popcorn or whatever they want to do. They might want to walk around butt naked, and here you come, needing to socialize and to connect, to, you know, to have somebody validate you or something like that, or keep you entertained. And I'm not trying to go hard on Libra. I'm trying to speak freely because remember, Libra represents us in partnerships as well. It doesn't just represent the Libra zodiac sign, of course it does, but it also represents each of us in a partnership or a connection or contract with another, whoever that may be. As does every other zodiac sign represent itself, as well as an extended facet of everybody in the world, of each person in the world. So, back to you, Libra. I don't know if it's you or if it's someone else coming your way, but you to this point where, you know, I love you, I appreciate you, I do enjoy you, but it's not the time for you to constantly come over, to be over, to constantly visit, not wanting to go home, coming sitting all day. You know, again, you may be uncomfortable with a person that moves in and out of your home when there's a pandemic, you know, supposed to be out here, and they're coming and going and moving through the city. You may be sitting at home like, I'm staying in the house. I don't want no exposure. I done went out and got everything I need. I'm cool at home. You walking from here to there and coming here. I don't know where you been. They saying that if a virus lasts a long time. You know, his life is a long time. And here you come to my house and I get something. So you don't want the company. Or it could be, again, that you just, I'm happy to be off work. I can sit around in my drawers, you know what I'm saying, and watch TV and eat popcorn or bonbons. And here this person comes and they sit all day long, you know. And so is the poop about to go down for Libra? The answer is yes. For some, I'll say, for some Libras, for many, because this is the message. For many Libras, yes, this is going to be a challenge for you at this time. It is up to you to stand up and say, hey, go home. Or it's up to you to say, you know what, I shouldn't wear my welcome out. This is not the time. Let me stay home. maybe I can call if I get bored, or how about I entertain myself? So it's, again, what am I saying? I'm saying, yes, the poop is about to go down for many Libras if you don't entertain yourself, or if you're intruding upon another, imposing upon another, if they don't stand up and tell you go home, don't wear your welcome out. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you if it makes sense, or you, Libra, tell a person, hey, this is not the appropriate time. You got to stand up for yourself. You got to stand up. You got to put yourself in a state of feeling secure. And so remember, your motto is I balance. What are you trying to balance? It is what you need to feel secure, stable, happy, all right, versus what somebody else needs. That person is constantly coming to your door in your house. They need somebody to entertain them, keep them company, validate them, or whatever the case is. But what do you need? Do you need to feel secure? You need to feel like you ain't going to be the next victim of the coronavirus? You know what I'm saying? Do you need this time to you relax? So it's you finding a balance. And the balance here requires you to speak up for yourself. Okay. The next sign is Virgo. Let's see what's going on for you, Virgo. Virgo, your motto is I analyze. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Virgo. 3 of Cups. It seems quite similar to Libras. And the 3 of Cups is in reverse, pointing back to the 2 of Cups. Maybe that they got 3. Okay, the 2 of Cups talks about you want to attach to something in particular, but you can't. You want to do something in particular. You want to connect with the siblings, the aunts, the uncles, the cousins, people from your neighborhood community. You want your co-workers. You want to go to work. You're the one that wants to go to work. You want business as usual. That's what you want. The next card is the Strength card. And it is a form of validation, needing validation for you, needing a purpose. With the Strength card in reverse, it talks about being weak and not knowing what to do. And resorting back to your need to, that instinct, the need to survive and to carry oneself, but it's this desperate like state. And again, it's like you are justified. You're an example, Virgo, of a person that is justified or validated by their work, because work gives you purpose, or by friends and family, because there's somebody to socialize with and you have a role to play amongst them, And so for you, yes, the poop may be about to go down for you. Your last card is the King of Swords. And immediately, Virgo, I feel like the King of Swords, I don't think the King of Swords represents you. But let's try 2 scenarios. Let's say, hypothetically, case scenario, the King of Swords is a representative of the element that you may execute, meaning that you will be executing the energy of that's you of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Remember, the king is an active figure. He's masculinely active. He's going to do what? Swords things. He's going to talk. He's going to socially connect. You know what I'm saying? And so it seems like, you're going to get the F. You represent the energy of getting the F when we are informed to quarantine. You're going to have a difficult time doing it. You know what I'm saying? The king is powerful, pushing through everything. The king has a sense of entitlement and authority. So you're not going to listen to the authority as far as the government. You be like, shoot, I need to go to work. I need to connect. I need to be amongst people. I need the validation. I need the conversation, those kind of things. And so for you, your motto is I analyze. And so what you're analyzing, it seems like you're analyzing is who should I listen to? Do I listen to the authorities or do I listen to myself? You know what I'm saying? And it seems like you lean upon your own understanding. And what you understand is that you need social a social interaction. You need a purpose, you know, those kind of things. And so that's what you're going to move to do, no matter what we are informed to do. Now, see, that's interesting, Virgo. And I say that because Aquarius energy said we're going to do it. We are going to do it. We're going to do it. What are we going to do? It says we're going to move through whatever the experiences that end up unfolding. We're going to do so successfully. So, with that being said, I go back into your reading, Virgo. And I look at this King of Swords because I said I'm not sure this King of Swords represents you. So now we're going to look at the King of Swords as a person outside of yourself. The person outside of yourself, you know, when you get to this point where you realize, hey, I need to be able to go to work. I need purpose. You know, I need to be able to socially interact and connect. And you're feeling weak and you feel like you got to go out the door. You know, say hypothetically, when there is a state of quarantine, you're going stir crazy, you're bored, or whatever the case may be. And you move to go out and socialize. Well, the King of Swords represents, again, it's a masculine energy, so it's highly active, highly capable, very mature, very rational in their thinking and thoughts and communication. So it could be someone that ends up having to direct you and maybe give you advice on how to get through the challenges that you may be facing, that may be forcing you to restrict your adventures, you know, your adventures getting out there. And so what you may be doing as a direct result of what you're going to do, what you want to do, Virgos, what I'm saying is going to be somebody there to correct you and or chastise you. And you know what, that I'm going to throw this in there. This is really conspiracy theory is like martial law. There will be somebody there to chastise you, whether it's a military person saying, hey, you know, get back in the house, it's martial law. That's just conspiracy. All this is hypothetical, you know, case scenarios. Or it could be, you know, some other authority figure. You might end up watching TV and it says, hey, you know, this Crayola with a coronavirus is not ceasing, you know. And it's not ceasing because people are not following the, you know, the laws that are being put out here, the rules that are being put out here. And maybe you may have a sense of guilt and responsibility. And then you do what? Do the right thing as suggested by Aquarius. Hopefully that makes sense, Virgo. Let's move on to the next sign. Y'all know I'm so long-winded. All right, the next zodiac sign is Leo. Let me put my white shirt here. Line it up so you can see it's Leo. Okay. Hi, Menace. How are you? Stay safe. Hi, Kimberly. How are you? You are the truth and you are powerful in this life. You sending us a message in the afterlife. You will be revealed. Higher power, love you, angel. Thank you so much. I do. I better be high. Ooh, when I'm out this body, Lord have mercy. I better be a powerful entity. I'm going to be really upset. Hi, happily ever after. How are you? You say you're a Leo. You just came in just in time. Just in time. Now remember our motto. Our theme is the poop about to go down? Because we are. It's being suggested that we might be quarantined. You have to watch the earlier part of this live stream where I covered the effects of being quarantined, especially for an extended amount of time. And if you are quarantined, meaning isolated or stuck in a house with your family, you know, is the poop about to go down. Leo, your motto is I will. Ooh, excuse me. Let's see. 1, 2, and 3. Leo, your first card is the 9 of Swords in reverse, pointing back to the 8 of Swords. Hot dang. I have a Leo ascent. And so this is disheartening for me. Leo, is the poop about to go down for you? The answer is yes. Why? It is because you have concerns that you're going to continue to ponder on, to reflect on, to meditate on, to worry about. What kind of things? Let's go over our list that talked about some of the things, happenings or experiences people can have during the quarantine. Worried about financial hardship, not having enough money, like when the quarantine is over, or having a shut off at the onset of a quarantine and not knowing if the utility company gonna give you grace to catch up, and if so, how much grace. These are the kind of things that Leos could worry about. You could be worried about, you could be annoyed because your family around you and you used to being free, and unbothered and having your elbow room in your space, and now you're quarantined in a house with somebody, with your husband or your wife, and you like, get off my shoulder, get off my back. Stop looking on my shoulder while y'all in my cell phone, And so the Eight of Swords talk about the excessive compulsive worry and things like that. Or you could be absolutely bored and your mind is just running. You are fire. Some Leos could be like really, really frustrated and upset and have this level of anxiety because they have pending work. But some of the work, as we talked about earlier, is outside of the house. You got to get to the post office. You got to go get some stamps. You got to go put something in the mail. And so you're stuck and unable to move forward. And it leads to this Nine of Swords, and it's this borderline sadness, depression, anxiety, acceptance, fears, what's going to happen, yada, yada. The next card is the Knight of Cups. Interesting change. The Knight of Cups is looking at the next card, which is the Moon card in reverse. See, Leo, it's an opportunity for you, as it's been shown for Pisces and Scorpio. Now it's you. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity that obviously has been offered to you, but you wouldn't take it. You wouldn't take it. So this is interesting. I can go somewhere else with yours, Leo. You wouldn't take the opportunity that was offered to you. And so while you're going through whatever is going to unfold, remember you got this anxiety like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Da, 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 da. We just went over all that. And you borderline depression, anxiety, da da da. There's this other event going on with you. And the event is this Knight of Cups that turns around and says, okay, I attach to, due to that state that you're in, because you can't do what you want to do, something like inadvertently happens, and you like turn, and this is more unseen, more in a spiritual turn, and you attach to the moon in reverse. The moon in reverse, Leo, represents your innermost depth, your innermost state. It is like getting to know yourself. Who else was about knowing a self? Scorpio. So it's double Scorpio. Yeah, it was Pisces and Scorpio, and now it's back reading the Scorpio. I refer you, Leo, to Scorpios. It's something about yourself. And so the moon card in reverse talks about your psyche. It's something there that you don't know about. It's some fear of maybe like a failure. It's like you receive a revelation during this time period. You have the spiritual experience. And so you're your motto is I will, Leo. And so what you're trying to will is what you want. You want to what? Get the work done. You want to be able to pay the bill right now. You want to be able to go out to the post office, but you can't because, example, hypothetically, case scenario, you are quarantined. You want your husband away from you, or your wife away from you. You can get that with no problem if you can just get out and get in your car and go wherever you usually go. But you can't. Hypothetically, case scenario, you quarantined. And so you stuck there. You can't will that. And again, inadvertently, it shifts you or moves you like in the spirit to start looking at that which is inside of you. Why do you not want to be in the house with your spouse for an extended amount of time? What is it? What's really going on inside of you? Do you not love them? Do you have a sense of a fear of intimacy? It's that kind of thing. So you're forced to look there. You're forced to see something about yourself that you've been ignoring. An example is like if hypothetically case scenario, we are quarantined for an extended amount of time, and say you got some orders, you got your own little small business, and you got a list of orders that you were going to fulfill, but you were told by the officials that you can't go outside, and you sitting up sweating like, "Ooh, I need to go get these people orders out," but you can't go to the post office closed. But yet you can't overcome that anxiety. Where does that anxiety come from? What is the foundation? Are you afraid that the people won't like you because you couldn't be a person of your word? that you couldn't trump, like the authorities, safety, measurements, you know, and say, I'm going to get y'all stuff in the mail regardless whether they won't like you anymore. You know what I'm saying? Or you will lose clientele. It's something deeper that leads you to have that anxiety, or leads you to not want to be in the house with your spouse for an extended amount of time. And so that's what you will be looking at. And again, keeping with your motto is I will, you will not be doing anything that you won't be doing what you want to do. And yes, the poop is about to go down for you. Okay. Let's move on. The next sign is Cancer. What do I do with my cards? Please like this content. Please share my channel with others. And if you haven't already subscribed, once subscribed, please locate the notification bell. Click on it so you'll be notified whenever I go live and or upload a video. If you're interested in offering me any financial support, you can do so through Cash App. My Cash App is $CanAngelsFlyTarot. Actually, all the information you need for anything is below this video. Thank you. Okay, Cancer, your motto is I feel. Let's see what the tarot cards have to share with us today. 1, 2, 3. 5 of Wands. Interesting. In reverse. I do believe it's the same position as your opposite sign, which is Capricorn. Interesting. Opposite side. So we have, you don't even feel like fighting. Capricorn raising heck and want to argue and fight because they want to go do what they got to do. They want to use what they got to get what they want in their game. Okay. The question is the poop about to go down in your life, Cancer? It seems like, and I'm just kind of jumping the gun. If you can make it not happen, make what not happen, the poop go down. It ain't gonna happen. You're gonna stop it. It's almost like you don't want to fight. 5 of Wands in reverse, pointing back to the 4 of Wands. You energetically okay. You just want to get in this comfort zone and, you know, take a breath and just ride the wave. I feel like for you, Cancer, you're just gonna ride the wave. You feel like all you can do right now, in light of all that's going on, from the coronavirus to the quarantine to the tissue, you know, everything, all you can do is just ride the wave. You don't want to argue. You don't want to fight. You don't need to be out here with the hustle and bustle. If you need something, you go to the store, you grip it, and, you know, if you ain't got it, I'm going to tell you, if you ain't got, I'm going to tell you the example of this. If you ain't got tissue, remember we talked about the tissue yesterday. You know, if this time period finds you with only 20 rolls of tissue and the quarantine goes in effect and lasts 30 days or 40 days, and you're like, I ain't got no more tissue, you are the one that'll get the wet soapy rag and clean your derriere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to ride the wave. I'm going to ride the wave. If you are a Cancer that's been a shopifista, what's her name? Shopinista, and you won't have a lot of food. You got, I'll say 20 days of food. Just go on 40 days. No problem. You got some beans and rice. You're just going to ride away. You don't feel like arguing, fussing, hoarding. You don't want to do none of that. That's how you feeling. The next card is the Tower card. And the Tower card represents you having a moment of enlightenment or ushering in an event that offers you as well as those around you a moment to be able to see clear. This Tower card also represents the future. It represents innovation. It represents sudden ideas. You know, sudden ideas. The next card is the King of Wands. And the King of Wands, who is he looking at? He's looking at the Tower card. Let's see, the King of Wands. And the King of Wands represents our fire signs. See, Cancer, you got me really thinking. It was opposite Capricorn. Okay, the King of Wands represents our fire signs. Our fire signs are Aries, active warrior type energy. Enlightenment. Enlightenment is the Tower card. So you're very in control, Cancer, of your energy. With all of this threat, you know, this threat of a coronavirus, a pandemic, the hoarding, the shortages, possible not being able to go to work, and then after all this is over, possibly some not being able to, maybe you're a person that can't go back to work because everybody done bought everything up and you a store clerk, you that person. And you like, okay, you have this moment of life, like you go into a Zen state, like all I can do is ride the wave. I'm not gonna worry about this. And see, you are executing the energy of the fire, even though you're water. You're in total control of your water. You're a master of your water at this time, meaning your emotions, your emotional state, your psyche, and different things like that, your spirit, your soul. And the King of Wands represents your fire, you executing the fire energy. And you're doing so masterfully because this is the King of Wands. I don't know if I said this word, it's King of Wands. And so the King of Wands says, I see all this that's going on, and you gain enlightenment. The Tower card represents enlightenment. It's the sudden event that occurs. What sudden event? The coronavirus scare pandemic. The sudden event, the tissue and the hoarding. The sudden event. The sudden event, case scenario, being quarantine, sudden event, brings about enlightenment. The King of Wands represents the person that's a master over their energy, their vital life force energy. They determine how they're going to use their energy. And you have what your motto is, I feel. You feel still. I feel like you feel still. And you are totally in control. I really feel like this Buddhist kind of Zen energy, riding the wave. And I was going to say, like, Aries, King of Wands represents Aries, and Aries is a warrior spirit. What you see is like you almost a witness to what is taking place. You see people's fears and their aggression and different like that. You witnessing it, and is giving you all this enlightenment. Like after Aries is Leo, and Leo is the sense of entitlement, and that's where the hoarding comes from. And you're a witness, and you see this, and it leads you to this Zen state of riding the wave. And then the final is Sagittarius. Sagittarius represents the experience. Was it Sagittarius? I think it was Sagittarius that was accepting the experience for what it is. And just having the experience to know what the experience is. And to appreciate this experience for what it is. For you, Cancer, the Sagittarius energy is also here. Where it's like, it is what it is. Again, this is this riding the wave energy with you, where you accept the experience for what it is, and you're not overreacting. It's what I see. And you feel like, again, basically the best thing I could say is, or describe it as, you like in this, you feel zen. You feel zen. You feel still. That's how it seems. Hopefully that made sense. Okay, y'all. I haven't been reading chat because I've been trying to rush because I'm so long-winded. But I'm about to go over here and read the chat for a moment. I just did Cancer. I forget, y'all. I did. But I forget. All right, let me go up and see what. Okay, Okay, you came in on time. You do worry. Don't worry. We ain't gonna worry. Nancy, tonight's teaching is Aquarian clever. Thank you. Aquarian clever. I like soon as I click. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Menace, for liking. Likes help. If I could get a like for everybody that come in this room, just as a gesture of appreciation, that would help it might help my channel so much. Hi, Brielle. How are you? What you up to? Hey, Nancy. What to do? Love you. Hope you are doing well. I am. I work in the healthcare, so we don't get to be off. A necessary or essential worker. That's a whole nother thing. That's probably going to be the next live, Brielle. So make sure you come back. Essential and necessary workers, and what impact or influence is it having on people that have to go to work, especially in the healthcare industry. So they would be the ones that's more likely to be exposed to a pandemic, and those are things what we don't know about. Do we, what do you call it? what's the word? When it comes to a pandemic, how to say? Because we never lived through a pandemic, we may have, and I'm talking people that are in the healthcare, necessary workers, essential workers, take things for granted or not as serious as we need to. Um, and so what impact is that having on the people that are essential? Is it essential workers or necessary workers? You know, to continuously be um, exposed to, or have the greater potential of being exposed to this pandemic, and what kind of psychological effects is it having on the workers? You know what I'm saying? Those kind of things. And do you get bonuses? Get bonuses. And so we don't get off. We will ride this train until the wheels fall off. Please do. Thank you, Brielle. We appreciate you and everybody else in the healthcare for doing what you do. Keep us safe. Keep us healthy and safe. Our Facebook shares you love. Thank you, Yanni. Yeah, y'all, and Facebook share me. We gotta get sophisticated and advanced in here. Twitter me, TikTok me. What's the other ones? I don't know none of them. Just put me on all of them. Hey everyone, stay safe for now and use this time for family and bonding. That's the best thing. Self-healing or whatever you need to do. Make some love to get through this crazy time. Exactly, get through this crazy time. Finally do your Buddhist meditation. Whatever. Clear room out, light one little candle, and just sit there and get butt naked. Or make love, whatever you need to do. They about to give trillions to the richest. They need to stop. Don't tell me that. Well, I better be one of them riches that they gonna give some of them trillions to. This little 2 weeks paid leave, $1,000 per person is nothing. Yeah. Yeah, because it's going, even if they paid a person for 2 weeks, $1,000. It's the earlier I talked about the extended effects of a quarantine and things shutting down. Like I was talking about people that worked at different grocery stores and things. It's probably not going to be time for their shipment, so they going to have additional days off. And then the customers won't be coming in buying any as many products as they would, or goods as they would, because they done already stocked up for 2, 3 months, 4 months, depending on how much a person has. So, McCormick told Senator and GOP gag and vote for bailouts to help families. I also heard that it was either 1,000. I heard 1,000. And I think it was Donald Trump was suggesting $4,500 per family. I mean, I can't say per family, $4,500. They didn't say to who. They didn't have a breakdown. But that's interesting that they're even talking about it, because these kind of things are things that should have already been discussed and planned, and they already know what to do. That's what's disturbing me. If this is a real pandemic that's taking place, and it's truly serious, it seemed like they moved very slowly to execute any safety measures, as well as they don't seem like they're working on a pre-planned plan. They supposed to know what to do, and if they know that they need to reimburse people or give some type of a stifling or some reparations, they should already know how much. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever they got to do, they already should have known they had to do. They, like we talking about in the medical field, these are essential workers. Who else was an essential worker? Some things just don't make sense, nor make it look like it's real. Because I can't say that. Y'all know I'm arrogant. I can't say that I couldn't execute the duties of a professional or somebody that has had to handle or is handling those type of responsibilities. But I know that I would have done it a different way. It would have been done. So if any scenarios happen, we already know what to do. I'm not going to argue about it with you. We already know what to do. It wouldn't have been no airplanes going nowhere, no trains. It would have stopped. It would have stopped until we truly quarantine any threats. because this I ain't been funny. This has been a while. So if it's about quarantining, it's been a long time. That's what I'm saying. And then the financial impact it's gonna have on people. You know, who gets what? You know, who gets what? You know, we got a lot of people living at or below the poverty line. Who gets what? And then is this additional income due to the emergency going to play negatively to these people, like during tax time, if they need resources or from the welfare system? Is it going to have a negative impact if they need to go to soup kitchens? Again, a large portion of the United States population is living at or just above the poverty level. You know, so what long-term effects is it going to have on them as far as that? And then who, again, gets what? You know, people that work, that have real jobs that get paid reasonable amounts, how much do they get? And what impact, long-term impact is it going to have on them? Will they be able to get, forgiveness of loans or extensions without interest on loans? Because people that usually have better jobs have car notes or mortgages. You know what I'm saying? They the ones that hold all the lines of credit, not poor people. They have huge lines of credit, and when those lines of credit go, I done had lines of credit crash on me because something happened to my income suddenly, unexpectedly. I done had it where I had reoccurring bills, you know, coming out my account, and something happened, and it's like a domino effect. So here, I mean, what are they going to do? You know what I'm saying? And then at the end, in the long term, next tax year or something, is it going to have a negative impact, or all of that is waived? You know what I'm saying? All those things matter. Because I remember when Obama, I think it was, gave people a $250 something stimulus or something. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, that may have had a negative effect on some people's life. I can't remember what it was, but it was something negative at the end on some people's life. It seemed like I recall. As far again when it started talking about taxes, or I can't remember what it was. I can't remember everything. And so those kind of things are all the things I take into consideration. They think they're going to save their own. You think, God dang, what happened? Where'd it go? I get so far where I'm at. I went too far back. It's right there. Oh, right there. Yeah, they think they're going to save it, and we're going to see. Okay. They think paper money going to save them. You're right, Aries, and that money is nothing. They will tax, and they will tax. So y'all already talking about it. Yep, y'all already talking about it. So we all know that is, you know, we not stupid. They want us to be stupid, and many of us act stupid. You know, not us, but a lot of the world's population act real ditzy. You know, because I don't know why they do it. I don't know why, but most of us, we're not, and either one of us can sit in their seats and play the role. You know, they don't understand these energies are coming in waves, and worse waves is on the horizon. I think that too. Money ain't gonna save them. We on the front line. Oh, let's see. Had dreams about this in November, warned a few, and made preparations. Just woke up now with more nightmares. Really? Wow. You know, I've been having some interesting dreams, real interesting dreams. Not nightmares, but dreams. Interesting. Very powerful dreams. Kind of surreal. And we have them. Real, be safe. Oh, yeah, be safe. Definitely. No, we don't get a bonus. You don't. Okay, but we don't expect it. We know what we were getting into before we started. I mean, I know. But I mean, when emergency kind of crisis happen, the people that are in the medical field, just like, and especially in emergency room, just seem so overworked. It was a nurse not too long ago that I do believe I saw something on some social media that she ended up killing herself because she was overworked. You know, and she hit a breaking point. I don't know if that's true or not, but it seems like I recall seeing that. And so I'm saying, in times of you know, stressful times, it seems like you would be compensated. People in the medical field would be compensated a little more. you know, something. Because, I mean, everybody's only human. And that's a great sacrifice. That's a great sacrifice. I mean, really. Hello, like to share. Thank you, Muppet 08609. Everything should be free now. Wouldn't that be nice? It should always be free. It's really free from Earth anyway. And that's the real insult. It's all free from Earth. It just life just asks us to do the labor to acquire what we need and take only what we need. And our leadership, our powers that be, have manipulated us into what? Raping the Earth. And it's insane. And that's a whole nother level. I started on that rant yesterday. Yanni, you know I did. I feel like these preppers, extreme coupons, and hoarders step up. They may not can help the whole world, but share what you can with family first and then your community. You know what, Brielle? In my youth, and not too, when I say my youth, I'm talking about not too long ago, I felt that way. Lately, whenever I've done a live, I've been talking about how I've realized I'm a sadistic evil. I got an evil spirit in me. And the evil spirit has been nurtured by the people that I've interacted with. And I you know, for the most part, the people that I have interacted with, you know, I hope never to be tried in this, but I think I know me. But I don't want to be tried in this area because I feel like, again, I'm sadistic. If something really were to happen, I'm to the point where I expect nothing from nobody and don't ask me for nothing. I have been preparing myself for years because I was raised in that way. You know, I don't know how, just the extent to how far I can carry myself or cover myself. But I think I'm in a pretty good position on many levels. My biggest challenge would be running. That's about it. Everything else I've been like training for, you know what I'm saying? And so I feel like at this point in time, because of the relationship that I've had with the people, you know, most intimate people in my life, that I wouldn't want to share what I worked so hard on because they did not invest. And so that whole concept of sharing with the community and family, I don't know. That's a part of me that's going away. And that's scary to me. Because I was always family and friend based and And so that's something that I am, I'll say in, I can't say that I'm repenting for it, but I am, what's the word? Is it lamination or something? It's where I'm in talk with my higher self about it. It's ongoing. It's ongoing. It's ongoing. Hey, Mrs. Hi, Monique. How are you? What's going on? You safe? You know, I feel okay. I guess I made it down. Okay, y'all. I made it down. I shared. I did Cancer, right? I did Cancer. Okay, well then the next sign is Gemini. Gemini, your motto is I think. So let's see with the tarot card. Oh Lord. Have to share, have to say. Gemini. See. Let's see. Okay, 1, 2, and 3, Gemini. Let's see. And I do apologize, Pisces. I know I didn't do your March individual reading, and it was for a reason. I did all that I could do without stressing too much, and I just had one to do, and I looked at the number of views I got, and I just wasn't inspired. But I'm sure before the month goes out, I will complete that last your video, because I just don't like things being incomplete. All right, now Gemini, your motto again is I think. Your first card is the Strength card in reverse. I figured that, Gemini. What did I figure? That for many Geminis, it may be a challenge for you. The poop may be going down for you. The challenge exists for you as it is Virgo, I think it is, and just staying put. Just staying put, adhering to the rules and the regulations that surround these current events that are unfolding for us. Gemini, your ruling planet is Mercury, and Mercury is about movement. It's about communications. It's very quick, rapid. You're known to be witty and a social light. And some Geminis can be promiscuous, which is just that you get around. You're very social. And so the Strength card talks about being in that lower instinctual flow for you. You know what I'm saying? At a time when it's being restricted. The next card is what is this? The 7. It's the 7. Let me put my glasses back on, y'all. Yep. 7 of Pentacles in reverse, pointing back to the 6 of Pentacles. The 6 of Pentacles represents your day-to-day routine and all that you do, the way you do what you do. And what you do, Gemini, is you like to flow. What is it? Flow like a buzz, fly like a butterfly, sing like a bee, Muhammad Ali stuff. You go, you do. You're a social butterfly. You're a social light. And you get out, and some Geminis are promiscuous. That's how you do what you do. Or you're a workaholic or whatever. You're out. Or you're a fascination. You're always shopping. You just go, you do, you explore. Those kind of things. You make associates, or, you kind of person that hold a conversation with a person at any time, make them feel like a friend, whatever. And so the 7 of Pentacles represents how your liberty, how you do you, and like you really don't have a commitment to anything. And the one thing that you sure enough don't have a commitment to, Gemini, is being quarantined. You don't have a commitment to being a person that ends up with the coronavirus. You don't want none of that. You don't want the respiratory issues. Why? Because it stops you from your flow, being in your flow. Your next card is the 9 of Cups. There's only particular things that you wish for, that you hope for, that you need, you feel like you need to attach to be emotionally happy and secure. And that's what? Your freedom. As this threat fills our lives, and you hear it on social media and the news and word of mouth, all you're thinking about is how you don't want to be restrained by the pandemic or the virus or the or the quarantine. You have no desire. There could be Geminis out here, you ain't even guilty of hoarding. Hoarding, HOARDING. You may not be hoarders. Just like I don't think many cancers have been hoarders, based on just the scenario that's playing out. Yeah, I mean, because you want to just go with the flow. Now, if you are a Gemini that bought more than you normally would, it was only because you were a part of the hype. Because you were just going with the flow. You were doing what the rest of the tribe did. You was hanging out with your siblings, your aunts, your cousins, whatever. But it wasn't like you were serious about being quarantined or not having enough. Because you're the kind of person like, shoot, if I ain't got no tissue, I'm going over here to Cuz house. I'm going to use Cuz toilet. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing to eat. I'm going over here to my parents. They going to barbecue. So I really feel like for you, Gemini, you realize, your motto again is, I think that you understand that you're a free spirit, and you've been thinking about how this experience, this unfolding the current event is kind of, what they call it, messing up your flow. Messing up your flow, that's what I get. Mm-hmm. Okay, you say, Monique, but I'm still good. You still good. I'm happy to hear that. Let me go back. Okay, let's turn Gemini's off, and let me go back. Let me line this up so I won't forget. Okay, Monique, you say, hey, Miss Nancy. Yes, I'm good. Wow, right on time. Hashtag Gemini. Nope, I haven't been social for some time now. Just a hermit. Really? What's going on, Monique, as a Gemini? You don't feel like you're right around, or somebody betrayed you or something? Either somebody that betrayed you, or you didn't got up on another level socially, or the folks that left you behind if you not socializing what's going on. LOL, I know that's all me, but not for some time. Nope, I barely have groceries to last till next payday. Wow, but I'm still good. But you're still good. What's going on, Monique? Something going on. Just feeling stuck. Yeah, either you. That's what I'm saying. Only way you could possibly be in that state is if you being stuck or feeling left behind, or because people have moved on, or you to move past out of people. You're not around the right people. People that you feel are your equals, that you can contribute in their life and yours. You know what I'm saying? And you get something from it with no strings attached. You may really be feeling alone. Alone, like ain't nobody got your back. You know what I'm saying? You gonna work through it. You gonna work through it. We're gonna have a conversation, Monique. Keep in touch. Make sure you come back and visit me, because I want to ponder on that, because I feel like I'm getting some messages, but I can't get off of track right now. But my Geminis, I feel like y'all about to have a powerful time. I really do. And it's based on where you are, if you will, physically ascend or physically descend. Hi, JS, how are you? Welcome here to Can Angels Fly Tarot and more. My name is Nancy. Okay, now we're about to do Taurus. Taurus, your motto is I have. Let's see what the tarot cards have to say. Is the poop about to go down? One, two, three. The first card, Taurus, is I think this is the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups in reverse, pointing back to the Six of Cups. Okay, Taurus, I kind of feel like you spoiled. I feel this spoiled energy. I don't know, I'm kind of jumping the gun. But the Seven of Cups talks about partnerships and having options and things like that. So I feel like some Tauruses have a lot of options. But the card is the Seven of Cups is in reverse, pointing back to the Six of Cups. And it talks about your day-to-day routine and all that you choose to connect to. For some, how to say, when it comes to the day-to-day routine, many times what we do from day to day is determined by life, man, talking about the authority, the government, the employer, and God. And then, we try to satisfy all that so we can make time for ourselves. And so this Seven of Cups in reverse, pointing back to the Six of Cups, talks about like trying to satisfy everything so you can free time up for yourself, so you can be with who you want to be and do what you want to do. And this quarantine time, or this challenging time, these current events, I think for some Tauruses is opening up the opportunity, like for you to spend time with the person you prefer to spend time with, because you don't have to do what life, what our structure is demanding. You may be the person that doesn't have to go to work. Like we talked about the $1,000, you know what I'm saying? You can say, oh, well, this is hypothetically case scenario. We don't know what's really going to end up being the final determination. But say hypothetically, they say we're going to give everybody $1,000. Well, hell, in a week or two, you might only earn $500. Well, you just doubled your money. In that case, it's beneficial to you. And you get to stay at home and spend time with the one you love. You know what I'm saying? Or you get to stay at home in your pajamas and your fluffy house shoes and watch your soap operas, plus get $1,000, and you okay with it because you've been prepared, because you done already stacked up your canned goods. You been had your Costco tissue. This ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. You get to sit up on your pleather couch and chill out with your fluffy pillow. You know what I'm saying? So this period can be somewhat of a reward for something you've already did, like prepared. You know what I'm saying? And so the reward is, oh, I get to be home with my significant other. Why? Because we always at work. I work mornings, he work nights. We're passing each other. Or I Taurus sacrifice so much. Like usually I buy, um maybe you buy crawfish, to eat, but you prefer lobster, and so you sacrifice, you buy crawfish and you use your imagination. And so the period comes, the extra money is an example. I'm buying me a lobster tail. I'm going to Red Lobster, or I'm going to this Joe Muir, whatever your seafood. You know what I'm saying? This opportunity, this time opens up an opportunity for, I think, many Tauruses. And I need y'all to hear this, because remember, every zodiac sign, even though it represents itself, it can also represent a facet of any other person in the world, that is to say, any other zodiac sign. So what I'm saying is, if you have prepared, as we move through this challenge, there's going to be blessings for you. For Taurus, the blessings, well, I haven't finished reading. It varies. It's a variable. The blessing is a veritable. Like an example of what a blessing can be is, some people are going to have a spiritual breakthrough, spiritual evolution. Other people are going to get to be home with the person they care about and be able to tap into each other on a deeper level. That's the energy that Taurus represents. It is about being able to just not have to go to work. Maybe it's people that go to work and work, for 12 to 16 hours a day, and they're exhausted and they didn't have no more time. But they've done all they can do, and they sacrificed so. And this ugly thing that is happening, this scary thing that is happening, is also a blessing in disguise for them. That's what the energy of Taurus represents. And so I feel like, Taurus, you're being spoiled. The energy, you're being spoiled. The next card is the Magician card, because you did all you could do when you could do it. You sacrificed when you need to sacrifice. You stacked up when you need to stack up. You went out here. You addressed the demands. You met the demands of life, man, of God, and you're finally getting the opportunity and the time to do something for you. You did it right with the Magician card. Is the poop going down for you, Taurus? I think the answer is no. Your last card, Taurus, is the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen is somebody who's highly receptive. You are receptive. You've been paying attention to everything. You've been paying attention to your struggle. You've been paying attention to your checking book and the balancing and paying the bills on time and putting away the money for a rainy day and putting the canned goods up and the dry beans, and you've been paying attention. You've been trying to attend to everything, every demand that's been placed on you, from taking care of your elderly parents to seeing the kids at school, everything going on. You done did it all with the Queen of Pentacles. And you've acquired, it's like you acquire a level of stability, but it's been a struggle, to maintain it and to carry it. And it's been without many gifts or rewards or blessings. You don't really feel blessed. It's like it's this consistency. But during this time period, you get this period where you really get to, again, experience the blessing. You get to see the results of all your hard work and why you did what you did. The Taurus energy represents somebody that most likely won't have a bill with a red sticker on it, or a cabinet without food, or have to ask anybody or beg anybody, or they just happen to be able to manage their work and family and relationships, so that when they're closed in the house with their family, case scenario, family is quarantined, that is not argument or strife in the house, but it's a time to do what? Tell stories, and to cuddle, and to laugh, and to cook some dinners, and maybe, camp by the fireplace, or play some board games. That's the energy that Taurus represents. This is what you have, keeping with your motto, you have coming soon and very soon, Taurus. All right, I like that. All right, y'all, last but not least, thank you once again for coming here to Can Angels Fly, Tarot and More, and allowing me to read the tarot cards for you. If you're ever interested in ordering your own personal tarot reading, all you have to do is contact me by email. My email is canangelsfly1@gmail.com. Actually, my email address is below this live stream and any other video I make. I ask you to please, if you enjoy my content, to like it, to share my channel with others. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Once you subscribe to my channel, remember to locate the notification bell. Click on it so you'll be notified whenever I go live and or upload a video. Last but not least, if you're ever interested in offering me any financial support, you can do so by Cash Apping me. My Cash App name is $Can Angels Fly Tarot. That too is below this live stream. Okay, Aries, your motto is I am. Let's see with the tarot cards. Have to share with us about you. The question is the poop about to go down? I be trying to be on my best behavior, y'all. You know, Taurus seem to be having a good time despite these scary circumstances. Right. I mean, they probably still have their concerns. It's just that they have done like the works to set themselves up for a time of like being off work, you know, being isolated or working at overtime, you know, so they're getting the benefits of their work. It's not to say they're not worried or concerned about what is happening and or unfolding. It's just that they have been in preparation and for a time such as this. They didn't know that this was going to happen or whatever event would occur. They just were trying to prepare and be responsible, you know, kind of adult things, and not understanding quite why you do things like that. You know, why you don't splurge or give yourself that treat when you want it. You say, I'll do it next time and I'll put this money in my savings. This event makes it make sense for that energy. So I just realized these are going in reverse. I'm a little late for Pisces then. Yeah, oh yeah, you're quite late. Yeah, you're quite late. I started with Pisces, and I started with Pisces because, again, I didn't do Pisces individual March reading yet. So I say I started that late. You say, are you taking any tarot questions, Nancy? No, Miss Rich, I'm not taking any tarot questions at this time. But you know, whenever I go live and or upload a video, make sure your notification is clicked so you can be notified. All right, last but not least, again, Aries, your motto is I am. 1, 2, and 3. Your first card is the Sun card in reverse. Let's talk about, feeling tired, feeling exhausted, not being up on your game, not feeling vitalized or energetic, lacking self-confidence or self-esteem. Why? 10 of Pentacles. You got all that you can get. You achieved a certain level of success, a certain level of social, what do you call it, affluence, a level of popularity. You may have had reached a career goal. So why would you not feel, you know, full of yourself or arrogant or humbling. The next card is the Knight of Wands in reverse. Not being able to move forward on an aim, a passion, and or desire. I kind of feel for you, Aries, you represent the energy of being humbled, you know, by this experience, humbling. Because the sun is going down, but yet you had all these accomplishments. You're well known. You have your reputation, you know, is increasing. Your popularity is increasing. You are reaching, you know, goals and milestones, hitting all type of social milestones, making money, building the life that you see yourself living, whether it's home, family, you get a car, whatever it is that you need as a unique individual, you attain some of these things. And usually when people attain a certain level of wealth and or success in this physical world, people become arrogant and narcissistic, that kind of thing, and feeling like they're better than others or something like that is what I'm getting off of this Ten of Pentacles. But the sun is going down before that. And it seems like, it just seems so humbling. It seems humbling. And it's humbling to the place where, like, another thing that goes on, that people want to continue to feed their ego, so they keep doing the same thing, they keep achieving, they keep pushing, in order to keep that reputation up, to keep the admiration up, so even if a person doesn't like what they do, if they don't know what they're doing, but if it's working for them, they'll continue to do it so that they can get the effects that they do like. They like being appreciated. They like being paid. They, like being acknowledged. They like being famous, popular, rich, paid, so they keep doing it. But it's something about, and I understand it, but I understand how it's really relative to, the coronavirus outbreak, pandemic, as well as all the hoarding and the possibility of being quarantined, and people not going to work, and it's saying, it's this humbling state. I really feel like you are humbled by the experience. And see, maybe I don't have enough cards for you, Aries, because all I get is just being humbled. You are a person that has, again, achieved a certain level of physical, worldly status or security that is acceptable to you. But in the light of what's happening, it humbles you. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I can say. It just humbles you. Your motto is, I am. You are humbled, and because you're humbled and brought down to earth, like you cut down the size, and it's not a violent or aggressive cutting down the size or shrinking of your head. It's just like you're humbled, and you don't want to like keep doing whatever you're doing in order to get the rewards or the benefits from it. It's like you begin to see maybe life differently. Maybe it's like, remember I was saying that most of us that are alive now, I do believe the large majority of us alive now, have never experienced an epidemic or a pandemic. This is across the world, a pandemic. We've seen some hoarding before, but not the pandemic. We've never, ever, at least not in the United States, experienced a quarantine, or even these threats on this level that's personal. We see stuff and it's outside of us, everything from the tower, the Twin Towers. For many of us, not all, but most of the United States or the world's outside of us. No, this is coming close and personal to many people. And Aries, you represent a person, one of the many that things, you're actively living. Aries, you're actively living this life, and things are usually outside of you and you witness it. But this experience here, Aries, you represent a person actually living the experience, and it's coming close to you. It's being close to home. It's affecting your home. It's affecting your job, and it's humbling. That's what I get. It's humbling to you. And it leads you not to like want to be arrogant or narcissistic, and which is interesting to me, that interpretation that I'm getting, because it literally takes me back to March 6th of 2016, I think it was, or 2016, in which I did the end time prophecy, and I told y'all got to go locate that one. It was March 6th, 2016, when I had a real live experience, awakened experience. It was a prophecy that was given to me and many others in the world, and I shared it about a month later here on YouTube. And it said Divinity's overall goal was to break people in humanity out of being self-centered, self-seeking, egotistical, and narcissistic, which is interesting. Because the way I'm interpreting these cards suggests that we're at the onset of people being broke out of that. You know what I'm saying? Out of it. And so this is the first time I picked up on this energy of being broke out of. I don't know how to say broke out of our sin. You are representative of us being broke out of our sin or being self-centered, narcissistic, egotistical, da 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 da. And this is the experience that is making that happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how. I'm not gonna lie. I can't see clearly how a pandemic, that we can't even verify is, real or not, is that which is really transforming people's minds. But you're a representative for it. By the time all of this over, on some level, your mind gonna be transformed. You're a representative for it, and that's what you are. You are humbled by this experience. That's all I can say. And I'm gonna let it alone and see, in days and weeks to come, what else I get. But that's what I get, and it's really humbling, me, to hear that. That's real powerful. That it's something that's breaking in you, and that which is breaking in you is what we deem or divinity deems like the sin state, or what makes us so unrighteous or so unworthy of returning back to it. It breaks. Now, if you are aware that it is broken or not, I'm not sure right now that you are aware that it's broken. But in times to come, soon, you become aware that this transformation or this seed has been implanted in you, and it is taking root. And that's a heck of a reading, Aries. We're going to see where it goes. Anywho, y'all, thank you once again for coming here to Can the Angels Fly. Until next time, bye. And Nancy, I keep noticing how personal the invitation to correct self is via this moment. I'm going to have to look at that and ponder that after I get off of here, y'all. It's break time.